Yeah. Oops.
Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami Fort Lauderdale presents The Neil Rogers Show. To talk to Neil, call 567-0560 toll free for David Broward or pound 560 on your cell phone. The opinions of Neil, his guests, callers, or anyone else on the show do not necessarily reflect those of WQAM, Beasley Reed Acquisitions, or the Beasley Broadcast Group. Now, Neil Rogers on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Let's go to Rob in North Miami. You're on WQAM. Hello, Rob.
Hey, Hank, I just wanted to ask you, you know a lot about sports than most people. I was curious as to what you think about the Payne Stewart plane crash and him dying today.
Well, that doesn't have anything to do with sports.
Sure it does.
I mean, I have an opinion about it. What would it be?
Well, I just think he was a really nice guy.
I didn't know him. I'm sorry.
Jamie passed away, and
it's sad, but what can I add to that? It's I didn't know him, but it's sad when anybody dies.
Just give me that old-time religion.
All right.
I'll go right down and pray. Remember not to do as we do, only as we say. Just give me that old-time religion. Our way is the best. And if you don't believe like we believe, we'll stone your ass to death. Falwell, Robertson, and Schuler don't wear Tommy can shoes. They're living in a mansion with a big Rolls Royce, thanks to suckers just like you. To be a good Christian man, you have to understand. Sex and knowledge are a sin, so keep your head deep in the sand. Just give me that old-time religion and Deuteronomy. Like when your woman is at that time of the month, you make her stand outside for a week. Just give me that old-time religion and the NRA, so I can shoot my loved ones in the eye, give me the next day. I don't give a crap when it's alive, but abortion's wrong to me. A man should make love to his wife through a hole in the sheet. The Bible is the foundation of the holy Christian man. Despite the fact it was written by men who didn't wear pants, just give me that old-time religion with the Bible to obey and interpret it to validate my ignorance and hate. Just give me that old-time religion and write a check to Benny Hinn. Anybody else who says guns are good and death is a sin.
No wonder things are all screwed up. There was a lot of sinning going on back in those biblical days, wasn't there?
Uh-huh.
A lot of sin going on. Anyway, so at our Pizza Loft appearance last night, which was sensational, by the way. Thank everybody for coming out. We had a great time, a big turnout. Raised, I think, close to $4,000 for Center One. Which, by the way, speaking of Center One, we'll get to that golf tournament shortly. You remember that golf tournament?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But at any rate, so one of our people, one of my good friends who used to work at Pompano Park, she comes by and gives me a couple of copies, one for me and one for that heathen George, of a book called Ken's Guide to the Bible by Ken Smith. It's a paperback. It's on Blast Books. I don't know if it's in bookstores or not, but boy, I guarantee you, a lot of people in this audience are going to want this. And actually a lot easier to read than those longer books like Farewell to God by Charles Templeton, which is a great book. But this is, paperback, real easy to read.
It's got little symbols that makes it
And, even has symbols in there to, show you exactly whether it's talking about sex or whether it's talking about the heathens or whatever it's talking about.
I like the violence, personally.
The violence, the bunk. A lot of bull. It's a picture of a bull to signify bunk. A lot of bull pictures in here. A lot of bull crap all through the Bible. So anyway, we'll get to that. It's got some really good stuff in it. Maybe I'll just read the whole thing on the air. How do you think?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that sounds good. Ken's Guide to the Bible. By the way, before we do anything else, we ought to try the toll-free number out, huh? Because amazingly, much to our surprise and dismay and amazement, the toll-free number was supposed to start working on Friday, but much to our shock and pleasure, it's actually working now.
Oh!
So we're told. And Bluff told us that. He actually tried it out in the line, too, so we know it must be working. So let's get our first call on the toll-free line from out of town, from Fort Myers, from the moon, from Poughkeepsie, from anywhere. It's supposed to work anywhere, right? 1-877-785-NEIL. That's 1-877-785-6345. Boy, this is an exciting... Can we have a drum roll on this? Like I said, the pressure is mounting. You can feel it. You can hear it. Oh, my God, there it is. It's ringing. WQAM. Hello.
I got it. I got the phone.
Hello.
Hi there.
Yes, sir. Where are you?
I'm in Boca.
In Boca? Get out of here. That doesn't count. I don't want to be rude to that guy because they don't have a line in Palm Beach. We don't want Boca. We're talking about out of town, out of state, out of this world. Not goddamn Boca. But the Palm Beach County people will be able to call. But he doesn't count. Drum roll again. Let's try it again. I'm in Boca. Do you have any idea how deflating that is? WQAM.
Yes, like Dr. Neil.
Speaking.
Calling Hope Sound.
You're where?
Hope Sound.
Oh.
I'm on a cell phone. I work up here.
Right.
I'm sorry you sound so disappointed.
No, that's great. We love Hope Sound. Don't we love Hope Sound?
Not
Yeah,
really.
we like it. Huh?
Not.
No, we like Hope Sound. It's okay. It's got its moments.
Kind of redneckish.
Where exactly is Hope Sound?
North of Jupiter.
Yeah, up the coast.
South of Uranus.
Now, you can actually hear us up there, or you're listening on the Internet?
No, I can hear you great on my truck radio.
All right.
I'm at work.
Like I said, we like Hope Sound even better now. Well, thanks a lot, sir. You made history today.
May I have a request?
Something you can tell your kids and grandchildren right in your diarrhea? Yes, sir. Anything you like.
Unplugged 9-inch nail or Trent Reznor, unplugged.
Okay.
And I'd like to call my brother Dennis and
Okay. Don't push your luck, pal. See, they think that because they're calling on that line like they're doing me a favor, so I'm going to let them do just about anything. The request, no problem, but no douchebags, okay? So we had a great turnout.
Doesn't work from Cincinnati.
I beg your pardon? What do you mean by that?
We got somebody from Cincinnati. Hold on, let him tell you.
How do you know that?
Because the guy from Cincinnati on line 5 is going to tell us right now what happened when he tried.
Oh, I see. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir?
Hey, we moved up here about a year ago, and I listen to you every day, and I was very excited about the 800 number, but it doesn't work.
It doesn't work? What do you get?
I get a message, an automated message from an operator saying that this number cannot be reached from my calling area.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah. I called Humper yesterday.
Only on WQAM, sir. Only the Greg Reed effing way. This is probably a line that's only going to work in Florida.
Maybe. Yep. So.
Well, who the hell wants that?
Yes, I'll call you on my dime every once in a while.
Well, God bless you, man.
Until they get it fixed.
Please pray for us.
I will.
We need it.
I know.
Thanks.
Bye.
See, we should have known. Like I said, too good to be true, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But they can call us from Boca. Oh! That should make Peter Leonard happy. Oh, wait till I get going on that QAM sales department, boys and girls. Wait till I get going on that bitch, Screw Ann, and our sales department, all of whom showed up for free food at the Pizza Loft last night, by the way. The entire sales department and others, too, which, thank God, Ponytail gets some trade-out spots, he tells me, because otherwise I'd be really porked off. Yeah, they came out last night to see the great crowd that we had and to try to figure creative ways that they can whore our Center One campaign every year, which I'm not going to allow them to do, but they sure try their damnedest to do it. Don't you, Brian, huh? And Peter.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, to try to please their clients by whoring our fundraising charity campaign, which just like with that golf tournament. Oh, wait till you hear about that, which I'll tell you momentarily. Wait till you hear about that goddamn golf tournament and the golf tournament from hell. It wasn't bad enough that we suffered the embarrassment and the fallout that still isn't ending. But wait till you hear about the money that was raised for Center One from the golf tournament. Do we know about the money from?
No.
10 minutes past 10 at 560 WQM.
No portion of this broadcast may be reproduced without the express written permission of WQAM Beasley Reed Acquisition Corp.
This station stands for nothing.
We're the guys who did that song about the girls of summer. Then someone bet us that we couldn't do a song. Do a song that was dumber. I like to my bike with the Oculus. 5,000 Johnny Bench. IEA sitting on one leg. Is this dumber? Yeah, it's dumber. My bike's right at Abercrombie Bench. The rumors make me itch. But we did a song that is dumber. We were dumber. I scratched my butt with a nail file. Hate linoleum like ceramic tile. People always sit on banana peels. Monty Hall said, let's make a deal. I wear contact lenses underneath my eyelids. That's really rather don't know trick of a kiss. Don't be bit by a dog if you think it has rabies. Everything's vivid, eat lots of yummy gravy. Just the other day I got a canker sore. Do you think Bill Bradley can beat Al Gore? I sing the first rhyme that comes to my head. I'm a big fan of Right Said Fred. I send emails on my brand new computer. People who drive to work are commuters. The other white meat is better known as pork. Singing this song makes me sound like a dork. I can't believe it's coming out my lips. Can't believe that it's a hit. Smoke the fungal. I wrote this song so it's dumber, a lot dumber. I almost forgot to say I would grab you, bitch. Let me say it was a real cinch. To sing a song that's much more dumber than our other.
10:16. I'm sitting here doing a Chris Baker there with a microphone off. That's okay, might as well, because the less said the better now after seeing this. Well, let's take a mobile in Fort Myers on our new make-believe line. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you're doing a great job. Listen to you every day. Right now, I'm on my way over down to friggin' Marco Island. These people are dead over here.
Yeah, I know. They're not too much more alive down here either.
Yeah, well,
especially in Broward.
Had a little more action going on there, though.
We got a bunch of crazy cucarachas in Broward County. We got the Walking Dead, so you're not missing too much over here.
Hey, at least you got all the gangbangers and guns over there.
We had a couple from Fort Myers, drove all the way over to Pizza Loft last night. How do you like that, sir? Drove all the way over from Fort Myers just to see us and get our stuff.
Hey, that's great. I would have been there if I wouldn't have had to work.
There you go. Well,
but I wanted to know, how can I get a best of CD down here?
They're going to be at the Fort Myers in the Specs Fort Myers very soon, which I'll give you I'll just keep listening. I'll let you know when they're in there.
All right. Keep it up.
Thanks a lot, pal.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Okay, so anyway, this is just to be expected. I'm not going to get all upset and psychotic because they have me conditioned into expecting them to lie because that's all they know how to do here is lie. Yeah, they lie with alacrity, man. Just lie and lie. They can tell you anything, and you know it's a lie. And then, of course, if you call them liars, oh, no, we don't lie, and we're not cheap. No, we're not cheap. We gave you basically a South Florida 800 line. Is that what we were looking for?
No.
Is that what we were told we were going to get?
No.
Is that what our program director...
No.
Even in Tampa, it doesn't work. George had calls from people off the air, Atlanta, Tampa, so it's not even a Florida line.
Check this out.
What's that?
Orlando.
Oh, here's a call from Orlando. Hello? Hello?
This guy's a little slow.
Oh, it's Orlando. Hello, let's talk to Orlando. Is he going to speak to me or not? Hello? Maybe it was just Orlando.
Ew, God.
That Orlando. Okay, well, so maybe it does work in Orlando. Do you think it works in Orlando?
No.
So anyway, before I even monkey around with this 800 line, we can kill days with this thing now, okay? I'd like to kill somebody in this place because, as usual, Greg Reed is full of crap. Cheap. Here's a guy that walks out of the toilet 2 days ago when the ratings come out and says to me, oh, people think it's easy to get ratings. We never had any ratings until we brought you over here, he says to me. Never in the history of any business has there been so little commitment to anybody as there's a commitment to this program by this company. Ever. And we're not talking dollars and cents what they're paying me because that was part of the original. That's in black and white. And if it weren't, believe me, I'd have to fight to get it. That was the deal. But I'm talking about after the deal. All the promises, the state-of-the-art studio, the 800 number, the this, the that. No commitment whatsoever. I mean,
no.
None. Zero. Zippity-doo-dah. And this is the same man who's wasting God only knows how much money to sue a radio station that, number one, has no audience, and number two, I listened to. I'm driving down to Pizza Loft last night. And for the first time since the first week that they signed on the air, I punched over there to 1,700. In my life, and this is not an exaggeration, in my life I've never heard anything so embarrassing. They've got more Testes de Strada on there, pretending to be a broadcaster. A lot of little kids, a lot of little boys like to play radio. They want to be radio announcers. They want to be sports announcers. I guarantee you that there are millions of 10 and 11 and 12-year-old kids in this country who could do better put a better program on the air than what they're doing on that thing that Greg Reed is so psychotic about. And you want to know what? I mean, they're doing fake voices. Oh, we have Marge Schott on the phone. Here's, this is Marge Schott. They're doing a phony voice. They're doing sit-down comedy. I was so embarrassed and humiliated. And by the way, their sales department, the rumor has it that they're all walking out and nobody is getting paid. They got no money to pay people over there, which I haven't seen Barry Jackson write that yet. Have you? No. How could they have any money when they have no audience? How could they sell any spots? How could the salespeople sell business when they have no audience? But our general manager, Mr. Sports Mogul, he's so paranoid because they had a 2-second conversation allegedly with Joe Rose, or because they're going after our sponsors, or because they're going to take our his sports empire away, that we file a lawsuit against them. But to do anything for us here in this place?
No.
Nothing. Zippity-doo-dah. Zero. Zippo. You're a disgrace, Greg Reed. You're an embarrassment. You're not just a disappointment. You're a bitter embarrassment. You're a sad and sorry excuse, which is why it's a great segue into our next thing about this golf tournament. So after listening to about 3 minutes of this unbelievable, I'm mortified for them. I'm embarrassed. I'm humiliated that this is what they have to put on the air. They couldn't compete with dead air. That's how bad they are. And this man was psychotic and paranoid about that radio station because he hasn't got a clue what he's doing. So anyway, I'm listening to them. I turn it off. I pull into the parking lot there. I find they got a parking spot right out there in front that Peter Leonard is waving me into because the entire crazy sales department was there. And I get out of the car, and I forget who it was that broached the conversation with me about the money from the golf tournament. Remember that very famous golf tournament? Uh-huh. The OJ golf tournament?
Uh-huh.
And I have saved, I saved this for a reason. See, I saved some of these old things which sometimes people throw out. This Josie Lambeat Insider column that I saved here, it's even getting a little yellow. It's so old. Yeah, it is. O.J. Simpson claimed another victim in Sam Douchebag. The promotions guy was suspended and yada, 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 and this and that. And Duque originally said the event had raised $25,000 for Center One, but only $2,000 made its way to the AIDS charity. Some of the rest, said Greg Reed, went to OJ-related expenses. We're trying to sort out the mess. This article was in there weeks ago. I don't have the date because I just clipped it out from the bottom of the page, so I don't have the date that this was in the Scum Sentinel, but it's weeks old. Because the golf tournament was like, do you remember how many weeks ago that was? Was it in August? Was it in early September? It's got to be several weeks ago. So to make a long story short, and by the way, Josie, whoever told you that $2,000 went to the AIDS charity, I'll tell you how much has gone to it so far.
Oh!
The big fat O. Zero zippity-doo-dah, zippity-a. All that money has flown away. They haven't seen a dime. And there's our friend Carol sitting at the table. And by the way, let me apologize on behalf of Carol. She's under a lot of stress. Some people brought back their defective CDs last night, and she certainly should have swapped them for you, and she instead told them you have to go back to the specs where you bought it, which was not a good move on your part, Carol, but nevertheless, she's under a lot of stress. Is that a good excuse?
Uh-huh.
So anyway, I says to her, so you haven't gotten any of the money from the golf tournament yet? And she says, No. She says, I keep calling Ray Perry over there, and they keep telling me that, well, it's still in accounting, and they still haven't figured out all the figures yet, and they're, liars figure and figures lie, however that old saying goes. Isn't that how the saying goes? Figures lie and liars figure, something like that. Liars are full of crap. So here we are, weeks later. How much accounting could possibly be going on? How much money went to OJ-related expenses? And let me ask you this question. If management didn't know about OJ being there, who authorized money being spent out of whatever they took in that day for OJ-related expenses? Isn't that a good question, I think?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. This is in a place where they can't even write a check here. All the checks have to come from Naples, from Beasley headquarters. They can't write a check for 15 cents. And yet somehow somebody in this joint managed to spend some of that money on what Greg Reed calls OJ-related expenses. So here we are, weeks and weeks later. We went through all of this embarrassment, all of this humiliation. Oh, by the way, guess who wasn't there at our pizza loft last night?
Roy!
Thank God. We went through one of the most embarrassing episodes that any station in America probably has ever gone through. And again, something I wanted no part of. I didn't want anything to do with this golf tournament.
September 24th.
September 24th. Today is October 27th, over a month ago. 5 weeks ago. Now, how much accounting could possibly go on when there was allegedly only a couple of grand left after, and they didn't really raise any 25 grand. That was part of Sam's, a figment of his imagination, a number he pulled out of his rectum, like the 300 grand he pulled out of his ass last year to be a wise guy. How much accounting could be going on, Ray Perry? Who in this building, who has got the answers to this question? How much money did that golf tournament raise for Center One? When are they going to get it? And where did the rest of it go? I think inquiring minds want to know the answers to those questions. I know I sure as hell do. Since I'm representing the fundraising efforts on this radio station, and since our general manager goes in print and says for publication, some of the rest went to OJ-related expenses, what the hell is that? Maybe that's the reason we can't get a real 800 number on here that works outside of like 3 counties away. Cheap, 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 cheap. The man stands here 4 feet to my right just a few days ago and says, oh, we're not cheap. We'll do whatever it takes, you know. Whatever it takes to fake our way through as cheaply as possible. That's the rest of the sentence. Because the Beasleys are a bunch of cheap pricks who don't want to spend any dime that they don't have to. Just like our construction project out here on the 3rd floor. Seen any progress on that?
No.
Huh? How many months ago should that have been done? I guarantee you the Egyptians built some of the tallest pyramids in shorter amounts of time than it's taken them to complete the erections here in this building. And you want to know why? Because they're working piecemeal, because they're getting paid piecemeal. How do you like that? In fact, maybe some of the money from that's supposed to be going to Center One from the golf tournament. Maybe that's what the problem is, huh? Maybe we're kind of like stealing from, I don't know where it's going. Nobody else seems to, too. That's why we're still trying to sort the mess out, says Greg Reed. What a sense of humor he's got. What a guy, huh? What a bitter disappointment. One thing you can depend on, if Greg Reed tells you something, ladies and gentlemen, you can be sure it's probably a pile of crap. An 800 number, my big, fat, bloody rectum. 26 after 10 at 560 WQN.
They play like men and they look like women.
George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. Georgie Jr. is a piece of shit. He's a rich spoiled brat and a cocaine junkie. What's he gonna do with all that campaign money? He don't give a crap about people going hungry, but don't confuse them with the facts. We can't find your rap sheet, it just disappeared. We're looking all over and it still ain't here. Hey, Georgie Jr., where's your rap sheet go? Are you afraid that we'll find out that you did blow? You were a rich college kid, a drunken party punk, and you got picked for possession of drugs. But a rich bitch like you can hire a judge to get some Ajax cleanser and a big head sponge. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. Georgie Jr. is a piece of shit. One more time. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. Come on. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. Yes, George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. Georgie Jr. is a piece of shit.
Okay, 1032 at 560 WQM. I got a great idea. Can I dial out on this? Oh, no, I'm dialing a Tampa information.
We're sorry. A long-distance company access code is required for the number you have dialed. Please dial your call with the access code.
What does that mean?
All these lines are locked out so that the schleppers can't make long-distance calls unless they have a code.
Yeah.
Which we do.
Well, write it down and hold it up and I'll punch in the code. Well, then they'll be able to hear it. What difference does it make if they hear it? Yeah. And then what?
Dial it and then hit that code. But you didn't get a tone, so I don't understand. Normally there's a tone, and then you enter the code. No, after you dial the number, you get the tone. But I didn't hear a tone, so I don't even know if it's going to work on the phone. So in other words, you dial the number first, and then you put in that code? Yes.
I think we're out in the code, if you ask me. 813. Information.
We're sorry. A long-distance company access code is required for the number you...
use that code, because I've done it. It works. But not from this line, obviously. Don't ask me why.
Well, no, I figured that way then I'd know for sure because somebody called from Tampa said they can't get it. The number, by the way, is 877-785-NEIL, N-E-I-L, 785-6345. That's our Phantom Make-Believe toll-free number. That was supposed to be toll-free from like wherever people were listening. They're listening on on the radio thing, on the audio net all over the world, and that was supposed to be the deal here. So we were told. That's what we agreed to, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
Isn't that what we were talking about? Isn't that what we thought this was going to be?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And come to find out that the people in Tampa can't get through it. Orlando, I'm not really sure whether there was really somebody on there or not. What? Oh. WQAM, make-believe line. Hello? Hello? What is that? Is it a line checker?
Well, I already got a couple cranks on it, so why not?
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's a good sign. Maybe they're calling from far away. We don't care about that. If you're in New Hampshire, call us on the toll-free line, even if you're crazier than a bedbug. 1-877-785-6345. WQAM.
Hey, George.
Yes, sir.
I'm in St. Pete, man. I'm calling you.
You're at St. Pete? All right. Here we go. Here's a guy at St. Petersburg getting through on our line.
How's it going, Neil?
Great.
It's sounding good, man.
Unbelievable. You're listening on the audio net?
Yes, I am. And people need to be dialing N-E-I-L versus N-E-A-L. Maybe that's what the problem is. You know,
just 6345 makes it a hell of a lot easier.
Got some dumb people over here.
Over there?
Yeah.
Trust me, you don't want to swap. Okay, have a great day, pal.
Take care, man.
God bless you. We'll pray for you. There's a guy in St. Petersburg. How do you like that? Things are getting a little bit better already. We're all the way halfway up the state. Yeah, we're all the way up north of the lake now. Let's see if we can get one of our student people up there in Gainesville or Tallahassee in on this line. You think they're going to be able to get through?
No.
No, see, I'm thinking, WQAM, big spender line.
Hey, Neil, works in Naples.
Are you? Oh, Naples. Yeah, well, that goes without saying. But if you were in Naples, Italy, we'd be a lot more impressed.
That's right.
And so would you probably be, too.
Well,
at least we got you people over there on the West Coast. At least we got you guys aligned, right?
You bet, man.
And we're going to just burn this thing up. We're going to build up a goddamn bill so big. In fact, during the breaks, I'm going to go out in the hallway and I'm going to call on it. Thanks a lot, pal.
We appreciate it. You bet.
And have a great day. And kiss the Beasleys for us, too, by the way.
Okay, I'll go up and see him.
Right on the
rectum.
Yeah. Give them a big wet one for us. Cheap bastards. Cheap pricks. Those people don't deserve the Neil Rogers show, I'll tell you that right now. You Beasleys, you ought to kiss the ground. You ought to kiss my fat, old, faggy ass just for coming in here every day. Putting up with this crap. Make-believe. Make-believe radio, boy. I wish we had that make-believe ballroom music. I mean, this audience isn't old enough to remember that, but I am. The make-believe ballroom. Here on Make-Believe Radio, WQAM, where the management lies like it's coming out of their
rectum
ass. WQAM.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm calling. I live near Sarasota.
Right.
And I'm getting you fine on the number.
Now, whereabouts? Give me a town.
Are you ever heard of Port Charlotte?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I'm listening to you on the Real Player.
Right.
I just want to call and let you know. I thought I'd try the number.
So we're all the way, well, Port Charlotte, of course, is way south of St. Petersburg.
Yeah,
we're making some progress. We started like in Fort Myers, then we had the Naples guy moving up a little bit, and now I got it backward. Naples is south, and then Fort Myers, and then we're up to Port Charlotte and all the way up to St. Petersburg.
Yeah, well, this is a direct go nowhere town. I mean, if you think Sunrise is bad and Delray Beach, I mean.
Boy!
Yeah, I've driven through there very fast on I-75.
Yeah, you don't want to stay here.
I go through there like I just floor it when I go through there.
Thank God. What a breath of fresh air you are.
All right. Thank you, sir. God
bless you. Bye.
All right. See, we got millions of people listening all over the world here, and this cheap-ass radio station won't get us a goddamn Watts line or a voice synthesizer or any other goddamn equipment because they lie, because they're cheap, because they suck. They suck the big one. That's right. When they put his ass in the ground, okay, with a hole in his head, Greg Reed, on his tombstone it's going to say, he sucked the big one. That's right. I'm telling you right now.
Roy!
God damn it. Bullcrap artist. Oh, when I shake your hand, we got a deal. Yeah, right. When you shake my hand, I run and wash it real fast. I'll tell you that right now, phony bastard. What a prick. What a piece of turd, man. The Phantom 800 line. And, of course, we got a program director who's really got the big pair.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's probably sitting in there weeping right now. Oh, Neil's ripping us on the air again, Greg. What are we going to do? Here's a guy that doesn't go to bed. No wonder Joe Rose wanted to punch his lights out in the hall a couple of months ago. He doesn't go to bat for the talent, this guy. He sits in there scared of his own goddamn shadow. Typing up these schedules. Is he going to bat for us?
No.
No. We need goddamn Pete Rose to come in here and bat for us. That's what we need. He'd go down there. He'd go right down the hall there and punch Greg Reed's lights out if we had Pete Rose as PD. Yeah, PD. That's right. We don't need a PD who cries. We need a PD who kicks ass. That's PD Rose. No matter what Jim Gray says. He'd go down there and kick the snot out of that guy's head. 21 before 11 at 560 WQAM, where the humor, and by the way, we know where that money is from the golf tournament?
No.
Oh. Think anybody in this building knows where that money went to?
No.
Charity, you know?
No.
Charity, we don't want to rip off charities, you know, especially Neil's Charity Center 1 that does all that good work for people with HIV. We don't want to rip them off, do we?
No.
So where's the goddamn money already 5 weeks later? Bada-beep, bada-boop, bada-bop, bada-beep. Yeah, you lying sack of crap. 21 till 11. I just said that. Did I already just say that?
Can't beat that gator meat.
Some people don't. They don't have a clue.
Yeah.
They walk all around with their head up their blues.
Rectum.
It's always the same. They're just looking for fame. And they love the abuse. Like the chronic from Lutz. Oh, the chronic from Lutz. It's first on the line. 'Cause he's hooked like a catfish with half of its mind.
We'll be waiting for you up here now. Just come on up with your green Corvette.
You and what army of little yahoos are we? All your friends from Carolwood, all your friends from Tarpon Springs. Why don't you stand up like on your own? It's always we, like you got all your buddies. How come you don't like stand on your own thing?
We do stand on
Now there's that we again, man. Are you speaking French or English? Everything's we.
We are.
There we go, we are. You sound like Dan Quayle now, sir. You can't even spell us.
We don't want the Roxy pig on the radio.
Right.
Wait. And you know,
Wait, was that pig as in we? You sound like that baby now. Are you in Lutz or are you in Aintree, sir? I think you've been up in Aintree in the woods with that baby. You want to admit it now or wait till tomorrow?
Some people don't.
Great talk.
They don't have a clue.
Yes.
They walk all around with their head up their blue. It's always the same. They're just looking for fame. And they love the abuse. Like the chronic from Lutz. He's the chronic from Lutz.
14 before 11 at 560 WQAM. So our center one total is 28,880. Pizza Loft last night, according to what she just faxed me here, 2,615. Does that sound like just almost 4,000 to you?
No.
I don't know. I'm just doing the best I can, boys and girls. That's all I can do. So we're close to 30 grand, and the good news for the people in Fort Myers over there is that the Specs in Fort Myers has already got the Best Deal 99 in stock as we speak. Oh! There's some good news today. As H.V. Kaltenborn would say, I'm dead. There's good news tonight. So the reason I played the Chronic from Lutz thing is that now we've got this great number in here that works in about 6 counties. We can hook up with some of our old good buddies over there, huh? Maybe we'll hear from some of those Chronics, although we sure hope not. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line, and 877-785-NEIL, N-E-I-L, 877-785-6345 on the out-of-town line. In addition to which, now that we got that number to give out, just think of how much more time that'll kill. This show will go by like lightning. Here's Miami. Hello. Miami. 26 minutes they've been waiting to sit there on the other end of the line. Are they making guttural sounds or are we on hold or something? Miami. Do not be there, okay? Thank you so much. Here's Fort Myers. Hello. Okay, they're gone. And that was on, that was not on the line 9, which I wondered why he called on the line 6, and he said he was on his own toll-free number. Everybody and their brother, every little business, everybody's got like one employee, which might be himself, has got a toll-free number. What do we got? We got a make-believe. We got a Greg Reed toll-free number that works about 15 yards out of the building. Here's Isla Morada. Hello.
Hello.
Yes,
Neil.
sir.
Neil, I got 3 great ones for you.
Yes?
Number 1, when that plane went down to South Dakota, you know that it's likely it frightened some cows. And when it hit, it stands to reason it killed a number of field mice. I think PETA has a right to have their own investigative team in there with the...
Well, they're on CNN right now.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, and the 2...
They're on CNN as we speak.
PETA's there, huh? On the scene?
PETA's there.
Their team is on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how about them 2 cops that got caught taking their pictures with O.J. 10 days ago?
Right.
They were supposedly relieved of duty. I bet that great Miami Police Department's gotten back on the street again.
Mm-hmm.
We need to find out about that. And lastly, I got a good reason why Pete Rose should not get anything.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
His son
I'm
is
shutting this line down after this call. Go ahead.
His son is a scab.
What does that mean?
Scab, Neil, S-C-A-B, the lowest form of life. Nothing lower
Union
than the
Post.
scab. You know that.
Anti-union.
Oh, his son.
Yes.
Okay. Well, have a great day, pal. I'm having a hard time staying awake to that call. Well, it's Isla Morada. Like I said, a chronic from Lutz, I think, should have been a signal to us. See, that's the thing. We don't want a Florida line. This was what I was hoping, to get some people, with all due respect, I mean, the people in St. Pete, we had a couple of, reasonable people on there, but we don't want Florida calls. We already got Florida calls. That's the problem with this show, is that's all we can get is Florida calls. Greg, you idiot, you scumbag, you,
He's an asshole.
Right. You lying piece of turd. Oh, look at it. Now, here's the call. Now, is that for real?
I think the other people must have just been dialing the wrong number.
Yeah, they were dialing the wrong number. I know Greg Reed wouldn't let us down like that, would he? Would he do that?
Yes.
No, he wouldn't. Here's a call from Phoenix. I know who this is.
Neil Gadd.
Yes, sir.
Calling from Phoenix, Arizona. Listen to your real audio. The 785-6345 works with the 877.
How do you like that? It works in Phoenix, baby.
Oh.
They're down on the wrong number, those other assholes.
Everyone's
They're just trying to make me depressed.
They're all retards down there in South Florida.
Give me a good excuse to tell you what a scumbag Greg Reed is, which he is.
Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to call and let you know. And in closing, sir, my friend Charlie, he is a douchebag.
You're not the satellite guy in Phoenix, are you?
Oh, no, not
this
the
is a different guy. So in other words,
guy.
we actually have a different guy in Phoenix who listens to this show every day?
It surprises me, but it wouldn't surprise me if you got a bunch. I'm a transplanter, about 4 years, been out here listening to you on the audio net every single day.
I guess the people here weren't old enough for you, huh? Is that why you went to Phoenix?
I know, I went out here for a little better education.
There you go.
All right.
Watch out for the cactus, man.
Have a good one, my
See
friend.
ya. There's a call from Phoenix, Arizona, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh!
See, what are these people just stirring up a bunch of crap, okay? They're stirring the pot. They're probably smoking it now. And what about the guy from Cincinnati that called you and said he couldn't get through? He probably dialed the wrong number, do you think?
They're probably either dialing 800
Or they're dialing NEAL.
Or right,
KNEEL. KNEEL doesn't work too good. Neil with a K? Oh, this is going to be great. Like I said, we can kill hours and hours diddling around with this, playing with it. I'm sure you can relate to that. Let me give you the correct number again. Let me give it slowly. Let me take 20 or 30 minutes to do that before I get into... Oh, by the way, here's one of the worst letters to the editor ever printed. Why would the Herald print a letter like this? And please don't tell me they print all the letters, the papers, because they don't do that. Gary Rodriguez in Miami. Sure hope no relation to you.
Probably not.
I applaud Miami-Dade School Board member Demetrio Perez for the petition drive to keep kids on school property during lunch break. The students should have nothing to complain about because they can still get to their handguns in the parking lot. Is that one of the most disgusting, the most pathetic, the most embarrassing, the most grotesque letters to the editor you've ever read in your life? Yes. From Gary Rodriguez in Miami.
He's an asshole.
Yeah, and then some. Of course, I'm sure there's only 50,000 Gary Rodriguez's in Miami, so he can remain anonymous very safely. In fact, his name is probably Tom Smith. Nice going, Gary Rodriguez, you jackass. Yeah, all the kids are evil and they're bad. Look at this. The only line we got now is the out-of-town line going. Everybody else has given up. And that's okay. We don't care. Like I said, we talked to enough Florida. Like I said. See, that's the problem, which he discussed with you before. They just can't get anything right here. They just can't get it right. And again, that's because we got wimps working around here. We got wimps and gimps. Mental midgets, people with no balls. They just don't care. They don't give a crap. Everything in due time. Like she said, like Linda Blair said in The Exorcist, in time. Yeah, right. And that's how it is here. Sooner or later we might get around to it. Maybe not. You know, stop making problems. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. So I guess we shouldn't be concerned about the fact that there's that missing money from that grotesque golf tournament. We shouldn't be too concerned about that?
No.
No. The fact that this radio station is dishonorable enough not to have a very quick accounting and get them the money, which isn't our money, which shouldn't be in somebody's pocket here, wherever the hell they're hiding it. Unless, of course, they're using it like they always do, robbing Peter to pay Paul. Or maybe they want to pay the contractors with the money, like I said before. The embarrassment, the fallout from that thing just never stops. Never stops. Did we want any part of that golf tournament?
No.
Do we want to be associated with it?
No.
Do I play golf?
No.
Here's Fort Myers. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I heard earlier that you're going to bring the Best of Neil CDs over to the Specs in Fort Myers.
They're already there.
Oh.
They are there as I speak. How do you like that?
Oh, that's good. What would be even better is if they brought some of the older ones, or they just have the Best of 99.
Well, as far as I know, they only have these, but that's not a bad idea. We can sure suggest it.
Because I've been trying to find a copy of Star Wars Cantina.
Right. That's on one of the older ones.
That's what I figured, and I was wondering if any chance of getting them over here in Fort Myers. I've looked on your websites, and I can never find a listing of what's on each CD.
Well, I'll tell you what. You keep listening this morning, and I'll look on, because I've got them all behind me here, and I'll look and find which one it is, and then you can order it from the website.
Okay, that'll work.
How's that?
That's fine with me.
Okay, pal. Have a great day.
Thanks.
See, this is a great deal. We're kind of like communicating with the outside world. Now, I know that's a really radical thing, a concept that's alien to these people here, to these little parochial nose pickers. Well, we never had any ratings until we brought you over here, Neil. I wonder why, Greg. Think we can squeeze a few more spots in there in drive time? Can we squeeze just a few more in there, maybe?
Yes.
Come on, you can get them in there. Get a shoehorn out. Because the chigger in the woodpile is that bitch down there in the sales department. She's the chigger in the woodpile here. She's the one that calls the shots. She's the one that's stuffing this place with goddamn spots so that we're losing bonus money because of her. That's why the length of listenership is down so dramatically in morning drive and afternoon drive. Even though their cume is up, more people are listening, but they're listening for like 5 minutes a week. Because they just don't have the patience, especially in drive time when maybe they have a life, to keep listening through 10 and 12 and 13-minute commercial breaks. Am I right?
Uh-huh.
You bet your sweet ass I'm right. But don't mess with Screw Ann, baby, because she's the one pulling the strings. You know what I'm talking about?
Roy!
Yeah, she's pulling that too. 10:56 at 560 WQAM. Boy, am I fired up and smoking today. Well, with good reason, too, I would say.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, well, you know, that money, we're still trying to figure out where it is. Oh, yeah. See, this isn't another contest winner from Power 96 that they can put off for 2, 3, 4 months. This isn't George's bonus that they can keep stalling off for 2, 3, 4, 6 months. This is money that was supposed to be raised for charity, okay, that if I were in their position, I'd be pretty goddamn embarrassed to have somebody, my main guy, going on the air and screaming and yelling about the fact that we haven't turned the money over to them yet or even told them how much it is yet. Because it would make me look like some kind of an ass. Is how it would make me look. Like some kind of a bad business person. Like some kind of a shyster. 4 minutes before 11 at 560 WQAM.
Kim Bocamper talks sports.
All right.
Weekends right here on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Her name was Leia. She was a princess with the Danish on each ear and Darth Vader drawing near. So R2-D2 found Ben Kenobi.
Obi-Wan.
He'd have to put the Death Star plans into the rebellion's hands. So Luke and Obi-Wan had to get to Alderaan. So they stopped into Mos Eisley to have a drink with Han at the Star Wars Cantina. The weirdest creatures you've ever seen at the Star Wars Cantina. Music and blasters and old Jedi masters at the Star Wars His name was Solo.
Han Solo.
He was a pilot with a blaster at his side and a smile 12 parsecs wide there with Chewbacca. He was a Wookiee. They met with Luke and Obi-Wan about the Millennium Falcon docking Bay 94. Stormtroopers at the door with a flash of Ben's lightsaber. And then on the floor, the Star Wars Cantina. The weirdest creatures you've ever seen at the Star Wars Cantina. Music and blasters and old Jedi masters at the Star Wars.
Out nice in space, folks. You will never find the more wretched hive, scum and villainy. You must be cautious.
His name was Yoda. He was a Muppet. Darth Vader was so bad, and by the way, he's Luke's dad. Luke kissed his sister. His hand got cut off in that galaxy far, far away. Lucas had a lousy day. Boba Fett was so mean. Jabba had bad hygiene. Why didn't they all just relax back on Tatooine at the Star Wars Cantina? The weirdest creatures you've ever seen at the Star Wars Cantina. Music and blasters and old Jedi masters at the Star Wars.
The Force will be with you. Always.
1104 at 560 WQM. So anyway, it's not on any of the best stuff. We just scoured, and Eric, who does a great job on our website up there in Orlando, said, hey, guess what? It's not on there, but we'll put it on the website very soon. So that'll be a place where you can find it. Okay? Okay. So anyway, Tom Jicha, remember he wrote that crap about, it wasn't really that bad of a storm, and the weather people didn't blow it, and all you people who were saying that are assholes and you're full of crap. See, I was talking the other day. In fact, one of the guys that came out to Pizza Loft last night, he was thanking me profusely for pointing out yesterday, and accurately so, that just because somebody who dies was famous in whatever line of work they did doesn't make their life more meaningful or worthy of more coverage than anybody else. Like the mother that went out there to try to save her 2 kids and then got herself electrocuted in the middle of that storm. Or the guy who went to work because nobody nobody stopped his work that day, and he wound up going off into the canal and drowning because he was trying to go to work because they didn't close down the joint. And almost nobody did close down because, again, they blew it in spite of what Tom Jicha says, who says it was just a little bit of rain. You know, like I said the other day, Tom, you're perfect for this market. I'm going to give you an idea of how parochial this market is, how pathetic it is. So predictable. We don't even have people who cover radio and television on a regular, the only thing we get is Tom's reviews of the new TV shows after he spends 3 or 4 months lollygagging around at Hollywood Park in Santa Anita out there on the West Coast. Ratings come out here. Laughing, they have a mass exodus from their staff because they're on the verge. I guarantee you they won't make it with that format till the end of the year. Take that to the bank. All kinds of things going on. The ratings story, the big success story is Smegma 103.5 going through the roof with that disco crap. All kinds of things. So what's the story in today's Sun Sentinel? And, of course, it's a syndicated story, not even written by any local writer, since we don't have really any local writers. Paul Brownfield in the L.A. Times writes with picture, of course, and with a plug on radio where you can find it. Can Stern's comedy survive divorce? Oh, yeah.
That's comedy?
A whole big article here about because Howard's getting a divorce. Again, it's the hypesters, man. Whoever died. Ricky Martin on the front page, Howard's on the inside page, Howard's on the front page. Same old tired crap. But the stuff that's going on here, which, guess what, last time I checked, Howard doesn't do his show here, does he?
No.
No. The stuff that's going on here, nobody knows about it. Nobody knows from it. It's the FCC fine, whether it's Smegma 103.5, no matter what it is, nobody here knows from it. And Tom, being the good establishment guy that he is, takes the time to chastise all the rest of us for saying that the weather people blew it in Hurricane Irene, and that a lot of people were left vulnerable and 7 people died, and nobody was prepared for the torrential rains that we had, and the flooding, and the consequences, and the power being out, etc., and all of these things. How could you live here and be so oblivious to the stuff that's going on around you, Tom? How could you be just, is it stupidity? Indifference? What could it be? I know those are rampant qualities here in South Florida. But I'll say it again. Just because Payne Stewart was a famous golfer, and most people who aren't into golf had no idea who he was, didn't make his death worthy of the incredible, and it's still going on, by the way. They're not even close to being finished. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line, and 877-785-NEIL on the out-of-town line for whatever it'll be working. Here's a mobile in Pembroke Pines. Hello. Okay, that's the end of that. That's the end of our calls for the day. I'm just going to sit here and eat my beef jerky. Okay, I'm not going to get all upset and worked up about these things because nobody cares. Try it again. Mobile in Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Yes.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
I was just thinking about where all that money went in that golf thing.
Yeah.
I think when you rob Peter to pay Paul,
Uh-huh.
that makes Peter sore, and nobody likes sore Peter.
Uh-huh.
You agree with that? That's what I wanted to say, anyhow.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Thanks.
thanks a heap, okay? Sure want to miss that. And he's calling from, like, local, Pembroke Pines. He's not out of town like in Lutz or somewhere. He's calling right here in town. Thanks a lot, buddy. 567-0560. You see what I mean about calls from Florida? Oh, my God. 3 more years of calls from Florida. Just take the money, Neil. I will, thank you. Anybody got any real ideas where their money went from the golf tournament? Anybody inside the building have an accounting of that? Got any excuses for that? Oh, we're still trying to sort it out. Yeah, don't get upset about all these things.
Dolphins football. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
It puts the lotion in the basket.
Don't you love Bill Bradley? Don't we need Bill Bradley? He's more than 6 feet tall. Plays pro basketball. Don't you love Bill Bradley? Yeah, we need him badly.
Yes.
He's gonna win the race. People love him 'cause he isn't Albert Gore. Did I mention that he isn't Albert Gore? He played for the Knicks. He doesn't bore us sick. Yeah, we love him 'cause he isn't Albert Gore. Not Al Gore. Not Al Gore. Not Al Gore. Yeah, he's not Al Gore. I say it one time more. We love Bill a lot. Mostly 'cause he's not boring Albert Gore. Well, don't you love Bill Bradley?
No.
Don't you love Bill Bradley?
Not really. I'll be honest with you. They all suck. I mean, if you really want my honest opinion, it's really another horrendous choice. They all suck. There isn't a single one of them who could lead a bunch of gorillas over the edge of a cliff. It's 14 past 11 at 560 WQM. Here's a fax from Billy B. How you doing, Billy B? How you be? It says, I travel a lot, listen to you on the net wherever I happen to be. This week I'm in Montreal, and needless to say, says Billy B., the 877-785-6345 number doesn't work from here, from Montreal.
Oi!
I guess we didn't get the frog line installed, huh? Anyway, just want to let you know I enjoy the show and can't get my ass into gear until I've listened to you. Keep it up and the work too, says Billy B. Thank you, Billy B. And give a big kiss to my good friend Dick Irvin Jr. up there in Montreal, eh? Shed a few tears for those Canadians. Or maybe Duff will do it for you. Here's a fax from Brian, who says he lives in Boynton Beach, and there's a Specs over there, and they have the CDs, but not the keychains. Which, by the way, I don't have my keychain that I had yesterday to do because somebody
you can borrow mine.
Swiped it.
Or have it.
But they're not having them in Specs?
Specs said they couldn't carry them.
Because they'd be too easy
to lift. Yeah.
To lift, to be shoplifted. So you have to get them at our appearances, or you can order them from Center One, like you can order them off NeilRogers.com, right off the website. Would be a good way to do it. There's more than one way to skin a polecat, I'll tell you that. Okay, Brian? Here you go. So anyway, let me give that number again for out of town. See, I'm really not certain. We had the Phoenix call. Did we have any other call from out of state? Beside the Phoenix call that was a real call? I don't think so. 1-877-785-NEIL, 785-6345. Just checking here. We're just testing it out today to see how much we can bitch about it, which probably will be a lot. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello. Mobile in Miami.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Great.
Did you discuss anything about the Ty Tony incident?
About the what?
Ty Tony incident.
Ty Tony?
Right. Did you read the paper today?
Ty Tony, is that something you get at the Pizza Loft?
No.
I have no idea what that
On
is.
the beach, Ty
Ty
Tony
Tony.
restaurant. Racism against the brothers. The brothers didn't, they say they didn't tip, so he
Oh, yeah, I did see that. Yes, sir, as a matter of fact. That name didn't ring a bell. Yes, I did
A
see
lot
that.
of times, that's true a lot of times, but you can't say that.
Wait, is that in the Herald?
Right.
One moment, please. I saw it. One moment, please. Here it is. Patrons allege race bias at Miami Beach Eatery. I'm so glad. I was going to talk about that. But who the hell is Ty Tony?
Ty Tony,
Who is Ty Tony?
a restaurant.
Oh, that's the name of the restaurant. Oh, it's a Thai restaurant, Thai. I thought you were talking about like an athlete.
No.
Ty Tony, like Ty Cobb? Okay, call me back some other time, pal, when you're like more into it. Oh, no, he's like got something going on in the background there, and I think he had a little problem. But at any rate, patrons allege race bias at Miami Beach Eatery. The name of the restaurant is Thai. It just didn't sound right the way he said it, you know. He said it like it was a person's name. You be following what I'm saying there?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. The restaurant is called Ty Tony, 890 Washington Avenue. And at any rate, two patrons of the restaurant say the proprietor added an automatic 15% gratuity to their check and then told them why. He says, black people don't tip good. When the customer questioned the surcharge, that's what he told him. He said, tough crap, I'm adding it automatically because you Schwarzers don't tip well. Now, see, like in many restaurants around the world, they automatically include a 15% surcharge for service, and then you don't have to, and if you want to leave a little more, that's okay too. But since this is not an international city, this is strictly a horse and buggy town, people aren't accustomed to that. They figure they're going to leave whatever tip they want voluntarily. In addition to which, I'd like to ask this question. Well, anyway, Charles Thompson, 40, a travel counselor for American Express Platinum Card, said the episode occurred at Ty Tony, and he was so upset that he called Miami Beach Police 911 to complain. He called 911 to complain about that? I think we ought to complain about him. 911 is an emergency number, sir. It's not for somebody that, like, charged you a tip that you weren't too happy about, or you were unhappy at their comments.
Maybe it was a racial emergency.
You think so? Thompson went to dinner Saturday night with Teresa L. White, 48, a supervisor at American Express Travel-Related Services. Both of them are black. Schmoes. They ordered sake, spring rolls, and a spicy snapper. No wonder he was pissed off, huh? Maybe it wasn't as spicy as he thought it was going to be.
I have just tasted your snapper.
Wow. What a thought that is. Enough to make me gag, I'll tell you that. The waiter handed Thompson the check, $51 stamped with the words, "For your convenience, 15% gratuity is added. The tip $7.65. And see, $51, I would have automatically, assuming the service was good and it was an okay place, I would have get left a $10 tip. Wouldn't you? No, not you. You wouldn't have been eating there in the first place.
Well, no, I don't like Thai food.
You don't like Thai food?
But I am a generous
How about
tipper.
Ty Tony? You know him? I
like
love
Ty
the way
Cobb.
that guy was saying that. That was great. Hey, you know Ty Tony? How you doing, Ty Tony? That's the name of the restaurant. Very strange name, but it's Thai. They also have a kosher Thai restaurant called Thai Tony. Thompson said he questioned the gratuity because he had dined at Thai Tony in the past and never saw a tip added automatically. A white couple received a check at a nearby table, he said, and he asked to see it as they paid with an American Express Platinum card. The tip was not included. How do you like that? I asked to speak to the manager, Thompson said. A man came over and introduced himself as Tony, the owner. Oh! I said, I want to know why my check was stamped and theirs was not. He said, you people do not tip well. Maybe he knows Ross Perot. You people don't tip well. You people. I said, excuse me. He said it again. Black people don't tip well. As Thompson quietly left to call, what is it? Where's the rest of this goddamn thing? Oh, there's Al Gutman, by the way. I was going to talk about him. He's the hero of the Cuban exiles. He's also going to jail. Where the hell is the... Oh, here it is. As he left quietly to call 911, the owner repeated his words to White. He pulled a chair up across from me and sat down. He said, I'm yellow, you're black, and he's Latin, meaning the waiter was Latin. I said, what do you mean, sir? He said, our experience is that your kind of people don't tip well. Your kind of people. And my waiters depend on your tip. God, I'm gagging on that Slim Jim. I think it was arsenic in that one. Oh. She said she asked him where he was from, and he said, Japan. I said to him, do you understand what you're saying? He said, well, it's the truth. Let me ask you, do they have any Schwarzers in Japan? Probably not too many.
They have a lot of golf courses. Who mows their lawns?
By then, 3 officers arrived on bicycles. 2 interviewed Thompson and White. Officer Tim Roll, no relation to Spring, went inside to talk to the owner, Hiromi Tony Takarada. The officer asked him to explain. He said, I put a gratuity on the check. I asked him, do you put the gratuity on everybody's check? He said,
No.
I just put the gratuity on people's check. I just don't think tip good. Those people don't tip good. Those people don't tip good, meaning Schwarzers. The officer asked him to explain what he meant by those people. He said, black people don't tip good. That's our poll question today, by the way. Do you Schwarzers out there tip good or what? What's a good tip? At Church's Chicken. I mean, at a good restaurant. Is it Church's Chicken or Bojangles that's in? Which one is in?
Both of them.
He said black people don't tip good. I explained to him that's discrimination. That's just because people are a certain color doesn't mean you can charge them extra. He said, I know, but these people don't tip good. Roll said he was stunned and sympathetic. What the owner of the restaurant didn't know is that my wife is black. Roll, an ex-Marine, is married to the Miami-Dade Sergeant Police Christine Salmon Roll. That's her name! Salmon-Roll!
I like Spring
So
Roll
he may
better.
not be related to Spring Roll, but he is related to Salmon Roll. Oh!
Although California
I
rolls
swear to God, I'm not making this up. He's married to Miami-Dade Police Sergeant Christine Salmon Roll. Roll told Thompson there was nothing he could do as a cop, but he handed him his business card and said, if you need me, I will testify. I want to testify. That's what the Parliament said. Remember that record? I want to testify. No. Maybe they'll play that on Smegma. Takarada did not return repeated calls to his restaurant and residents Monday and Tuesday. Yoko Lipson, head waitress at another Takarada restaurant, Tony Sushi, also on South Beach, said her boss was in New York and couldn't be reached for comment. What was her name? Yoko, Takarada made the Herald in 1989 on a news story about the scarcity of black waiters or waitresses in South Beach restaurants. He said many blacks lack the proper attitude and energy to serve his customers. Thompson retained a lawyer, Stephen Kozlowski. I'm flabbergasted that this was so blatant, Kozlowski said. It runs afoul of federal and state civil rights acts, which prevents discrimination in public accommodations. He said he will file a complaint with the Florida Commission on Human Relations. Oh! Nice going there, Steve. Howard Simon, executive director of the ACLU of Florida, said, you have to have been comatose during the civil rights revolution in this country in the 60s or have a totally deadened sense of justice not to know that you shouldn't discriminate against people on the basis of some racial stereotypes. It's sad. Thompson said he received a revised check with the tip deleted. He paid in cash. Oh, and by the way, speaking of paying in cash, remember last week I was talking about supermarkets and they ought to have if they have an express lane, they ought to mean it cash only? Guess what's in my Sawgrass Publix? Cash only express lane. Oh! Thank you, guys. You're the best. See, I talk, they listen. Anyway, although he said he ordinarily leaves at least 20%, he apologetically informed the waiter he would not be tipping. I want you to be angry at your boss, he said. I want you to be pissed off at the boss. Kick him in the ass. That slanty-eyed bastard. Well, he didn't say that. I said it. So how do you like that, huh? That's our poll question of the day. Thank you very much, sir, for Ty Tony. I had no idea what he was talking about, even though I read the story this morning. What do you think about some Jap that comes over here and starts picking on darkies? What do you think about that? Got some goddamn nerve, don't you think? 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Here's a mobile in Weston. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
Did you see our buddy, the little weasel Jim Gray last night on the World Series?
No, I did not. I didn't watch the World Series. I was watching hockey last night. So I saw the gagging, choking Braves. No matter what the score was, you knew they were going to lose. So why waste your time watching?
Yeah, I just wanted to see if he backpedaled. Because he initially had said in the papers, "I'm not going to apologize."
Well, he
for
did.
what
In the
I
paper,
said.
in the paper this morning, it said he did give kind of a lukewarm apology.
He did. I watched it. It was a little half-hearted. He said, if the interview went on too long and it took some of the joy out of the occasion, I apologize. That's not the deal.
He's
it was
an
the
asshole.
content of the interview.
Right.
You idiot.
The fact that he was interrogating and browbeating and not just doing an interview on what was supposed to be a very festive occasion.
Right.
The fact that he's a major asshole. Yeah, he's a piece of crap. He's got the personality of a dead worm. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah. But I've been in the restaurant business before, and it might be stereotypical, but black people don't tip it's not all black people, but
most.
A good part.
So obviously this guy, he didn't have a legal right to do this, but maybe he had a point. Maybe he had a point, though. Maybe he's just sick and tired. And, of course, the fact that he made the other racial comments also make you wonder about this guy. But nevertheless, maybe he's got a point. Black people better start learning to tip well.
Yeah, well, I don't think he was burnt by the manager. He's probably burnt by the spicy snapper.
Okay, have a great day. Should have quit while you were ahead. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Do black people tip poorly? That's our question. No, I don't want an answer. That's a...
Only one South Florida radio station has that. You're listening to it. Goldberg, weekday afternoons at 2. Sports Radio 560, QAM.
Takes forever to get that taste and smell out of your system.
You got me all wrong. I'm just a bit suspicious. Do you like girls at all? You went healthy into arms and then you ran away. It didn't take too long before I found you right away. With the weekend every day, you hide inside like a Julio Maricona. In time they'll find you're a Julio Maricona. Julio Maricona. Hey Ricky, tell me why you're still uncircumcised. Hey Ricky. Hey Ricky. I'll bet the certain women get wet when you sing. They'll get no proposition since girls are not your thing. One day you'll be out from the closet where you hide. Hopefully you'll push up and admit you like a guy. And you're circumcised. You hide inside like a Julio Maricona.
Oh!
In time they'll find you're a Julio Maricona. Julio Maricona.
11:33 at 560 WQM. We got Hank in the studio at 2. We got the Bookster 6 to 7. Islanders here at the Panthers tonight. And by the way, how come we haven't heard about Pavel Bure playing tonight yet? The end of the show this morning, they're saying, well, after practice, we don't have to wait for game time. After practice, we'll find the decision. Have we had a call about it yet?
No.
Jeff Rimmer, by the way, assures you that Pavel Bure will play tonight. He told me that at getting his free meal at Pizza Loft last night. He said if Pavel don't play tonight and you're upset, he'll give you a free refund at the door on the way out. Anybody believe him?
No.
So anyway, how's that spring roll guy doing, huh? This what kind of salmon roll? I know Esther roll. You think she's kin to salmon roll?
No.
Could be. So that's our poll question today. Thank you, sir, by the way, for giving, even though I didn't understand what you were talking about there for about the first 20 minutes, of reminding me about the Ty Tony story. Makes a great poll question. Who's the worst tippers, the Frogs, the French Canadians, Schwarzers, or Old Jews? Now that's tough, huh? Here's Fort Myers. Hello. Wait a minute, that ain't it. Like I said, here's Fort Myers. I'm going to have to get used to that line. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm originally from Canada and had some friends down here. We went over to the Naples Registry, and they did that same thing to us, added the 15% on automatically. And our waiter told us that anytime Canadians or Germans come in, that's just their standard practice. That's
Oh,
what they do.
right. Excellent. Germans should have been on the list too. They're terrible tippers, right? And by the way, if you go to Germany, they do have the tip automatically included as a result of that, and most of Europe.
Well, that's all my material now.
Okay, thank you, sir.
My bad.
Okay, there you go. The French Canadians, baby. Don't take them to the restaurant with you because you'll get sucked in unless they're willing to pay your tip, which of course they won't. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line, and 877-785-NEIL, N-E-I-L, on that brand new out-of-town line that works in a few places, Phoenix and South Florida, and St. Pete. Here's Hialeah. Hello.
When Roy took OJ and those other people to dinner and used the QAM credit card, did he add 15%?
He used the QAM credit card?
Well,
how do you know he didn't use the cash from the golf tournament?
he probably used that.
Maybe that's where it went.
I was wondering, do you think like
I
in
bet you he got the
private,
big tip. I bet you it's somebody else's money. It's probably even a big one.
do you in private, do you think OJ says to him like, listen, idiot, you know I did it, but I'm glad that you like support me and everything, but of course I did it. How could you be so stupid?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think he's in denial.
Yeah, okay.
He wouldn't wear those ugly ass shoes. Would
No.
you? No. Okay, thanks. You know something? I'm having I don't know if it's that Slim Jim or maybe my flu is on the way out. That I've been fighting for 2 weeks. But I'm having a real grumbling. Just a little advance warning. I always like to give you a warning. Of course, our breaks are long enough. I can go out there with no problem at all and have plenty of time left over to come rushing right back in. No sweat at all. Here's a mobile in Deerfield. Hello.
Hello, Neil?
Yes?
I'm calling to take your poll.
Yes?
I mean, answer your question.
I'm listening.
How about the Schwarzes not tipping?
Yes?
I've been waiting on tables for 6 years, and they are the absolute worst tippers.
How do you like that?
Absolute worst.
Schwarzes
And for,
are they even worse than French Canadians?
that's a close second. They're tied, I think.
Tied? Tony?
Yeah, they're tied for the lowest tips. I mean, if you get 10%, you're real lucky.
Yeah. Now, what kind of a restaurant you work in?
4-star restaurant.
Really?
Yep.
Well, first of all, see, I don't understand why cheap tippers go into a nice restaurant in the first place. Why don't they go to McDonald's?
Well, the
Like
French
Miami.
Canadians, they try to play it off like they think it's included, like the Europeans,
Right.
But the Schwarzes, they're born and raised here. They know better. They should
Yeah,
know better.
I don't see too many American Schwarzes traveling around Europe. I haven't encountered any now that you mention.
Exactly. So I could see why the Canadians and the Europeans, they have somewhat of an excuse, but not the Schwarzes. They're
Okay, one vote for the Schwoz. We got you down, pal.
Thank you, sir.
And have a great day. See, this guy brought it on himself. I mean, no, the guy is wrong. He's got no right to do that, but it's an issue. Maybe black Americans, whatever the hell they want to call themselves this week, maybe they need a little bit of education. If you're going to go into a restaurant, especially a nice one, I mean, if the dinner for two was $51, it can't be too shabby of a place, the Thai Tony place, whatever the hell it is, Rigatoni place. So you're going to go in there. If you can afford $51 per meal, you can afford to leave a decent tip. Don't be leaving like $1.50. The frogs, though, have to be the worst. I mean, you see these people in a group, like 8 of them, 10 of them. $100 check, $150 check, leaving $1 tip, 50 cents, $1.75. You know what I think ought to be done? Right there on the spot, okay?
That, of course, is after they've tried to get, like, the salad bar.
And by the way, it is open season on frogs, is what I just heard the governor say. It's frog hunting season in Florida. Not that we want to scare any of the French Canadians away, but plus you're a loonies and toonies ain't worth a crap. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil. Good morning.
Yes, sir.
I used to bartend, and I had a couple of black customers that were very, very good tippers, very good customers, but for the most part, I had very, very demanding African-American customers that didn't tip anything.
Yeah.
Now, I disagree with what the guy did at the restaurant. It should be across the board. But I also I'm out of the bar business now, and I have another situation where at work we order Chinese food regularly. We love Chinese food.
Uh-huh.
And we go in as a group, and everyone pays their tab plus a little extra for the tip. And we had to cut one woman out, African-American, because she refused to pay the tax on her food and the tip. So, yeah, I have a problem with
How could she refuse to pay the tax?
she wanted to pay just what was listed in the book, in the menu.
Right.
And no tip. She didn't believe in tipping.
Oh, my God.
If the guy didn't like not getting a tip, he should get a new job, was her philosophy, the delivery guy. So, but especially the bar, they were very demanding, making the most Long Island iced teas mostly. I had one customer that would come in almost every week, every Saturday night, and order 4 Long Island iced teas. That takes just a few moments when you're busy.
Mm-hmm.
I never got a tip from him. I complained to my manager. My manager told me I was a bigot.
How do you
And
like
that I
that?
better give the guy good service.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the
I'll
black
say the gun lovers out there got a good point. I say anybody who works in the service business in this state ought to be armed at all times.
So, I mean, I haven't had a chance to really work with the French Canadians, but I've heard horror stories from hell from people that have. So, I only had the experience with the black people. They're bad tippers.
Okay, thanks a lot, pal. Parlez-vous, goodbye. 20 before noon at 560 WQAM. Boy, I'm going to tell you. Wow, am I going to run out of here in a second or what?
Hey, yo, man, what's up with your forgotten Miss Porter?
Well, when you come to my house, every time you ask to use the toilet, and that's fine. But when you're done, you always leave behind a very special gift to you. I'm surprised. When you wipe your ass, you can show a little class, and just remember to flush. Well, the liver on the tank is what you pull for a turtle deep flush when you're getting full. 'Cause when it's my turn to sit the seat, your lumbering hurts I want to see. You took us up as far as now, don't leave me broken hearted. Just remember to flush.
Okay, 16 till noon at 560 WQAM. Everything came out okay. Minister charged with raping boy just received this from the Tampa Tribune. Plant City. A teenage member of a church youth group says the pastor had a sexual relationship with him 2 years ago. The pastor of the Cork United Methodist Church was arrested Tuesday afternoon, accused of raping a 14-year-old member of his congregation on church grounds. How do you like them apples, huh?
There's no fact in the church.
The arrest of James, wait till you hear this name. You thought that spring roll salmon roll was bad? The arrest of James Hugg, 29, is the second in 5 days in which a Tampa area Methodist minister has been charged with child sex offenses. Hillsborough County Sheriff's Major Gary Terry said Hugg, who is in the second year of his first church assignment, had a 5-month sexual relationship with the youth who is now 16. None of the incidents occurred within the past year, Terry said. The youth broke off the sexual relationship and just recently cut off all contact with the minister who oversees the congregation's youth group. Detectives are investigating whether there are more victims, and it goes on and on and on. Just another one of those isolated incidents proving
There's no fact in the church.
beyond a shadow of a doubt. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line, 877-785-NEIL on line 9, the out-of-town line. See, I got all worked up and whipped up about that. We may not need that line anyway. Huh? Even the novelty of it today. I mean, for the first 15 minutes, it was very exciting and very traumatic. And now that's it. Not even, not a touch, not a lick. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Third time caller. 51-year-old black man. Was in the bar business almost 20 years.
Yes, sir.
And my people do have a problem with tipping sometimes. They just don't understand. If you get good service, you give a good tip.
Well, how much do black people generally tip? Like 5%?
I don't know. Myself,
Buck?
I go minimum 20.
Right.
Because I was in the business.
Right.
That's what I expect.
I mean, it used to be 15 was kind of standard, but I would say that now most of us, if you got a few bucks and you can afford to eat in a decent place, 20% is pretty much standard.
Well, I figure like that. 20, if I get great service, I'll leave him 25. If I like the people, I might even leave more.
Wow.
But like I said, I'm probably an isolated person, only because, I've got a college degree and I was in the business before, and I'm not from South Florida.
Right.
So that probably makes a lot of difference.
Oh, yeah, it's already knocked a couple of strikes off your list. Okay, thanks a lot, pal.
All right, see you later.
See ya.
Bye.
There you go. So the verdict so far is overwhelming that you darkies out there, you people, you're cheap. You don't tip good, huh? Now, when you go to the fruit stand, are you supposed to leave like the wet watermelon seeds on the table there? Is that the way you do it or what? That's not counted as part of the tip. I hate to break the news to you. That do not be counted as part of the tip. The watermelon seeds, no, that won't do it. 567-0560. No, seriously, I think he made a good point. Lack of education. I think if when they came in this place, if you just said, hey, you darkies, by the way, 15 or 20%, please. That's the way real people tip. That would be, or maybe just put it on the menu. You don't have to single any group out. Just say, for those of you not too educated, those of you not too with too many social graces, don't be cheap and leave, a decent tip. And if not, get the hell out now before we start. Here's Weston. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Neil?
Great.
I'm going to answer your poll question about who's worse, the black people, the French Canadians, the old Jews. Usually black people, it's no tip. With the French Canadians, you get 2 dimes, and with the old Jews, you get 2 quarters.
Oi!
But that's the reason I think that they have, for large groups of people, they have that standard 15%, because black people tend to have more children than the other groups, so...
That's a good point, too. What if a whole bunch of black people go into, I was going to say Denny's, but that's not a good example. What if they go into a joint like that'll serve them, like Wags or something like that, and they got like 16 kids or something?
Yeah,
and the tab comes to like $140 or something like that. You know what? Yeah, I mean, the 20% of that's a lot of cash.
Well, the way my old manager used to handle it is if you got some black people, he would always put some queens next to you because they tip great. I mean,
yes, queens do tip very well. In fact, that's going to be tomorrow's poll. Who are the best tippers? Obviously, queens at the top of the list. That's right. We tip big.
Okay.
We like the big tips.
If possible, could you play Virgin Mary? I love that.
Can do, pal.
Thanks a lot.
And have a great day. And don't be picking on my good friend, the Virgin Mary. Oh, don't let me forget about that book, by the way. Gee, I feel so much better now that I got the first in the several-part series of dumps out of my life. And you know something, George? I think you lied to me about these halls sugar-free. I don't think you lied to me. I just think that somewhere, if you look real close at the fine print, there will be something on this list here that'll tell you. Because I've
scoured it, but
I've been sucking on these all morning in the sugar-free halls too. And I have a feeling that that was only the first in the series. First in a long, long series. Ken's Guide to the Bible, baby. Ken Smith on Blast Books, paperback. Everything you need to know about one of the most grotesque, ugliest, vilest books ever written in history. And, of course, it's not just a book. It's a series of books, as he points out in here. It's a series of different books and even letters.
66.
Yeah, but don't be confused with the facts, okay? Oh, the good book says. Yeah, sure. Thank God there's no brainwashed people in this world, you know? It makes me feel a lot more secure about life. Here's Lighthouse Point. Hello. Lighthouse Point.
Yes.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
I'm in the service business, Neil, long-time listener.
All right.
This is funny you brought this up because me and my girlfriend both are in the industry while we're in the school. And old Jews, not so bad because what do you lose on when they split a burger?
Mm-hmm.
You're not losing anything.
Like my aunt, yeah.
French Canadians, 10% across the board. Black people, the worst because you don't know what you're getting. You could get nothing or 5 to 15%, but they run your ass. And gay men, in my instance, they're the best tippers.
Yeah.
All right?
I stand on my laurels. Okay, thank you, sir. God bless you.
Yeah.
Gay men, there you go. We know about tips, baby. Oh! We're the expert on tips. I've seen some beautiful tips all over the world. Here's a mobile in Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hello, good morning, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Did you read that article in regard to obese people in America? They are increasing.
Yes, sir. I have it in my hand right now. We're going to bring that up, but then, of course, we got tied up with with this thing. U.S. losing battle with the bulge. Yes, I have, sir. This says Americans are getting, the line in the article says Americans are getting fatter and fatter is what it says.
So the solution now is to come up with a tax on the high-fat food. That's what they are proposing.
Tax on the high-fat food?
Yeah.
High-fat food isn't what's making people fat. They already know that.
Exactly. So they don't get it. The carbs are the guilty part here.
Right. There you go. Your government, the American Dietetic Association, the American Diabetes Association, these are the morons who are making sure that America stays fat.
Exactly. I heard your program 18 months ago. I started with the Atkins diet, lost a lot of weight, and keep it down. So they still don't get it.
Okay, keep it up, pal.
Okay, thank you.
See ya. Oh, yeah, George, that was only the first. Oh, can't we just bring a porta potty in here now? It's these things. I'm telling you, man. There's no such thing as sugar-free anything that doesn't have something in it that'll make you crap your brains out. Seriously. I mean, it's okay if you got a sore throat, a little raw, like the flu that I'm getting over now from the last 2 weeks, and you can stay home if you're close to the throne. You can suck on these all day in the halls too. But don't be going somewhere where you have to be a little, preoccupied. Because people in the hallway will be going, oh, there he goes again. There goes Fatso again. He's on the way to the pot. By the way, Tommy, you left your sunglasses in there. You left your shades in there, Tommy. I was nice enough, though, to put them on the counter there. I wouldn't want to force Tommy to go back in there after I had left, stick his head in there to get his shades. As a matter of fact, I think they turned a darker shade while I was in there. I could be mistaken. Here's Miami. Hello.
Morning, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hi. I eat out a lot in every corner of South Florida.
Uh-huh.
And, service down here, and I think you'll agree with this,
sucks.
Generally speaking,
Very weak,
you might have some places that are exceptional, but service is just very, very poor. It's lengthy. It's people don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to treat the public, and I can go on and on. But as far as I understand, the idea of a tip is to reward good service. Now, where is it written that you're obligated to give this person a reward even though you get treated like SH?
Oh, that's a good point. And see, that's one of the reasons why in Europe and also in Canada, they generally include the 15%. I'm not that crazy about that. See, that's to protect the people who work there, but it's also a cover-up. Like if you say somebody gives you real crappy service, you don't feel like giving them anything.
Absolutely. And where do you...
And why should you have to?
Exactly.
But you can also see it from the other standpoint that if you have a business that you happen to get a lot of people who tend to be cheap tippers, you got a problem with your help there. They're not going to want to work for you.
Well, I understand that, but where is the stimulation? Where's
the stimulation?
Well, where is the motivation for the server to smile and help you and be there when you need help? And so, in fact, you go to most restaurants, you see very little eye contact from the waiters. It's not like they're looking to help you. They're looking to avoid you, it seems. And why should they? They're going to get that 15-20% regardless because of that type of mentality that you see out there.
Yeah.
Anyway, good show. Thanks.
Thanks. Although I'll tell you one thing, like a restaurant like Ruth Chris, expensive restaurant, very good one, and you get great service there because they know they're going to get a real good tip because the bill generally comes to a very significant amount, and anybody can afford to eat in a place like that has got to leave minimum 15 and certainly 20% or more. I always leave at least 20% in a joint like that. And they give you great service. But if you get crappy service, I agree, it's got to be optional. But if you've got a whole series of people, if you have to be in like a neighborhood where you attract, like maybe like in Dania, Hollywood, all the French Canadians keep coming in, one after another, okay? You've got to do something. You got to put your goddamn foot down, hopefully on their head. Here's a call in the Grove. Hello.
Neil, how you doing today?
Great.
First time caller?
All right.
Concerning today's poll question, whether African Americans are good tippers or not. From experience, I've been in this business 9 years going on, 8.5 going on 9 years.
Yes, sir.
And as a whole, not all of them, but as a whole, they are bad tippers. And it gets worse after that.
On the whole?
If the service is not as fast, if the drink is not as good as they want it to be, it's not because the service is bad, it's because they are black. That's another issue that comes across when you're talking concerning African Americans.
The old chip on the shoulder thing.
Exactly. It's not because it's because the bartender is horrible. It's because they're black and the product was made bad for them and so forth. And as far as good tippers, gay community tips well. From experience, bikers tip well. And bikers, believe it or not, in the Grove area. I'm speaking in the Grove on the weekends. They tip well also, and you wouldn't think so, but we get good tips from them.
So in other words, you're saying you'd rather have a whole bunch of old bikers than old kikers, is what you're saying?
Well, no, not as far as that. But we're just trying to say who's good tippers who are not good tippers,
right.
And that's just my little piece. That I want to add.
Thanks, amigo.
Thank you.
See ya. Okay, there you go. So far, the Schwarzes and the French Canadians are having real problems here. The Fags, we're number one, baby. On top of it. And the tip, too. 4 minutes till noon at 560 QM. Clear the hallway, by the way. This can't be the beginning of a whole series of these, can it? These halls mental. It's your fault, mister.
I read the thing. It didn't have anything that ended this hall.
I'll read the thing.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Oh! WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. hard to be myself, because the group that I'm in sounds like everyone else on the charts, and we all dance, and we sing just like girls, and we wear really tight things. We're Backstreet Boys, or are we made conditions, or anything, 'cause I'm confused, got no clue, don't know what band I'm in, maybe it's boys to men, the sounds all around, every group sounds the same, yeah, we're painfully lame, Casey and JoJo, and boys on two, Joey McIntyre sounds just like us, I'm confused, all I'm asking, can someone please explain, 'cause I'm confused, I don't know what to think, but I know this song stinks, nobody knows who we are, that's the truth, all we're asking, can you tell us our name, 'cause we're confused, man, I'm so confused.
Me estoy muriendo aquí.
All right, good news from Mike Hansen with the Panthers. Pavel Bure will play tonight. Ray Whitney will play. A big show, a big black guy named Peter Worrell. He's going to play too. They're all in there except Red Hedekin. How do you like that? You better be there tonight. Islanders and the Panthers, 7:35 at the Mac Arena. Pavel's playing, baby. Thank God. Rimmer's saying thank God, too. We don't have to give out all those refunds. So anyway, our good friend Scott Marcus, who listens in Boston, he tried dialing our toll-free number, and it didn't work. Didn't work. Sorry, Scott. It's a great, you know something, that call we had allegedly from Phoenix, that was somebody probably calling from Greg's office. Probably a setup deal to calm me down a little bit. It's not going to work. Parliament overturns 1912 ban on brothels in the Netherlands. There go those Dutch again. Nice going, guys. Parliament on Tuesday overturned a 1912 ban on brothels, voting to clean up the oldest profession by turning bordellos into legitimate establishments in the booming Dutch sex industry. By a vote of 49 to 26, the upper house approved the bill that officially makes it legal to run a brothel anywhere in the country, subject to local zoning ordinances. The lower house passed the bill in February by a wide majority. The new law aims at guaranteeing cleaner and safer working conditions for the country's estimated 30,000 prostitutes. Prostitution is legal in the Netherlands, although bordellos technically have been illegal up until now. They've been allowed to operate in clearly defined areas such as the red light district of Amsterdam and most other major cities, as long as they follow strict standards for health and fire safety. But now no longer illegal, just like it should be here, right? Right. Absolutely correct, sir. As the Dutch continue moving light years farther and farther ahead of us as we continue worrying about our war on drugs and operating our little scams out there with the Johns and the hookers on Biscayne and Federal Highway. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Mobile in Naples, hello.
Neil, how you doing?
Pretty good, sir.
Well, I wish I'd have found your show before I spent $3,000 on a car stereo, but, you know.
That's right, good point.
The dart community over in this side of the state's a little lacking, but as far as we go, I have a bar over here, and the Spanish community seems to be our weak point.
Really?
Really. We don't. It's rare to see a black person at a bar down here, unless you head out towards Fort Myers or something, but down in Naples, it's pretty rare. And I would have to say, probably agree with the gay men over here, too.
Number one.
Number one.
We're number one, man.
Yeah, in some aspects.
Right.
Question. Do you guys have the Jeff Gordon is Gay song?
Yes, we do.
You get a chance, can you play it today?
Absolutely, sir.
Thanks, Neil.
And I hear he's a good tipper, too.
Hey, what about Peter Worrell? How's he tip?
He's playing tonight, pal. He's doing it. He's going to bring the big tip.
Hey, say a prayer for my St. Louis Rams, too.
Okay.
See ya.
56705. Well, listen, we said we'd be getting calls from around the state. We didn't guarantee they'd be great. 5670560 pound. Here's a call from Gainesville. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just wanted to let you know that up here in Gainesville, the phone's working.
All right.
And all the people in Gainesville who are listening to you down from South Florida, we're all able to call now, and I think it's wonderful. I've called you a couple times on my dime, and now it's great that I'm calling on their dime.
Yeah, in fact, to encourage them to call, we want to run up a big bill here on these cheap bastards.
Oh, definitely. I'm lining them up in front of the fraternity houses right now.
Okay, sounds good to me.
But they got to put pants on, so it's not easy.
Okay, amigo.
But I just wanted to let you know that I ordered some stuff from your website.
Great.
And it hasn't come yet, though, and not that it hasn't been charged. I've checked, and it hasn't been taken out of my account or anything. And I ordered it like the first week that you were available to get it online.
Yeah, but don't forget we were in limbo for a while because the first batch of CDs were all screwed up. So you'll get them.
I hope so.
Okay.
And just wanted to let you know, if you ever want to come to Gainesville, we have a speakers bureau. If you ever want to come and speak to all the students and tell them how the world really is, we'd love to have you.
Okay, only if I can room with JP.
I'll see what I can do.
Work on it.
Okay.
Okay, see ya.
Bye, Dan.
He's working on it, and probably JP is too. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. That brand new toll-free number for the entire universe as far as Gainesville, maybe. And St. Pete, 877-785-NEIL, N-E-I-L. 877-785-6345. Here's a lady in Bay Harbor Island. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, hi, Neil Rogers?
Yes, I am.
Hi. Listen, I'd like to tell you that being a woman of color, I beg to differ because in my personal experience alone or in a group of people, there are great tippers in the professional and business world.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't know if someone down somewhere that can't really afford, quite frankly, to even just dine out regularly during the week. I'd also like to say that, in fact, to generalize an entire race as poor tippers is completely unfair.
Yeah. Well, there's always one or two that, spoil it.
Well, for instance, Asians, okay, they're not generous tippers. And quite frankly, a few years ago in Japan, many corporations that had executives who were traveling to the U.S. began instructing them to tip because they obviously had heard about all the complaints that Japanese people in particular were very bad tippers.
Well, that certainly makes it look even worse for this guy from Thai Tony's, doesn't it, since he happens to be Japanese, Kyu Sakamoto, whatever his name was?
Well, I bet my life that, well, he might be, but I'm sure the owner is not Japanese because normally Japanese people have Japanese restaurants and they don't serve Thai food. You will find 9 cases out of 10 that Thai people open up their restaurants and add a sushi bar.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to generalize, though.
Oh, of course not. But I said 9 out of 10.
Right.
And in closing, all I wanted to say to you is that my boyfriend and I drove all the way out to Pizza Loft last night, and we purchased a CD and 3 keychains.
Great.
And I'd like to say that I found you really most hospitable.
Yes, I am.
Took a photo, and you also signed a picture for me.
Oh, your boyfriend is the photographer to the Panther games, right, for Sports Channel?
Oh, you have a very good memory, yeah.
Yes, I do.
And also, the thing that most impressed me is that when I left, we shook hands, and you have really, really soft hands.
I have a soft grip.
So that's all I want to say.
Okay, sweetheart. Have a great day.
God bless you.
And tell him to keep Rimmer off our sets.
Okay.
Thanks. I have a soft, delicate touch.
You know Bob Neal.
And by the way, speaking of that, I didn't see Jacob there last night. We won't see him no more, I guess. Well, I scared him away. Let's work on somebody else. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line.
Basta de mamar.
Now the Pope depends on you and the powers you possess. Since you saved his life with your flying scissor knife, he's got a job for you to do. You have a brand new style too. We love the way you flaunt your do. With the big C on your chest and bulletproof and tight dress, defending those who are oppressed. Moves with the speed of a gazelle, sends the bad guy straight to hell. When a building starts to grow, with what it is then we know, Lord crushing crime with one mighty
Oh! So who's our worst tippers of the day? Spooks or the Gooks? That's our poll question now. I've never been to Asia, but I would assume that there, just like in Europe, probably the 15% is added on automatically. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe one of our world travelers will call us and tell us, but I doubt it. So Rimmer took a bunch of pork rinds last night after we left the pizza off, after his free meal and their free meal button. And he also had the chutzpah. Well, what do you mean with your blessing?
Well, it's like we have 4 giant boxes of those things.
Who are you to be blessing, mister?
I'm just trying to...
Are you
God!
Junior now with your blessing?
Well, I was going to schlep all those things around for 100 years.
No, I would have taken some home. I had a nice Corvette there.
There's a whole other box.
Yeah. I would have been glad to take him home. They're very good. What's the kid's name, by the way, that wears the Braves? Oh, he must be suicidal today. But nice blowjob again last night, sweetheart. He always, the kid that brought the pork rinds. He brings us the stuff now and then.
Gary.
Thank you, Gary. You're a good guy, but I'm sorry, your team still chokes and gags. You can hear the choking and gagging and puking sounds of Braves all over America now. Oh, my God. They're gagging on it. So Rimmer took some pork rinds, huh? I'm writing all of these things down, you know it? Yeah, so we have our buttons now, the Neil buttons, which they're okay. They got 8 different sounds here from the show. And if you want, you just keep your thumb on it, and it repeats. Have you ever had that? You keep your thumb on it, and it keeps working? Yeah, just keep your thumb on it if you want to repeat it over and over again. And the sound, too.
And Greg kept paging that over the intercom yesterday.
Where the hell did he get one? Did we get his $20?
He got one from his
nephew. 5670560. So did we get any information about the money from the golf tournament yet, by the way, after I went through a whole song and a dance here around a year? No. We want an accounting, goddammit. We want to know where the money is from that freaking golf tournament because the people at Center One want the goddamn money as in right now.
I will not give it to you.
Well, we want it. We want a number.
I will not give it to you.
You know who would know?
Roy!
56705. Boy, I bet they had a great meal at the Astor. And like the guy said before, I wonder how much of a tip they left that night, OJ, huh? You leave a big one? Here's Sunrise. Hello.
How you doing, Neil?
Pretty good, sir.
All right, let me tell you this. I've been waiting tables for like 4 years now in a seafood restaurant that you guys do a lot of advertising for.
Right.
And black people by far are the worst tippers.
How do you like this? Schwarzers are bad tippers. Here's the proof of it right here.
But I mean, here's actually good.
No wonder they don't want to let them into Denny's.
Right. Here's the good thing about their gratuity is half of them can't even read the ticket. Like when I drop it off on a party of 8 or more.
Right.
First, there's 8 separate checks to begin with because they don't want to pay for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll call me over and say, "What the gratuity mean?" Like that. I'll say that means you don't have to tip me.
What do gratuity be meaning?
What do gratuity mean? I say that means you have to tip me now. So actually a lot of times since they can't read the ticket, they'll end up double tipping me because they don't know what's added.
Mm-hmm.
So on a $100 check, I end up making 17 instead of 15.
All right.
And one quick story from the weekend. My buddy is waiting on 2 of them about the Long Islands. Makes them two top shelf Long Island iced teas. He comes over to the bartender saying how they're complaining they don't taste any liquor or feel anything. So the bartender takes a walk over to the table. He used to say there's one sip taken from the Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
So we just informed that, you got to drink it to feel anything.
Yeah. I would have kicked him in the ass and said, "You feel anything now?"
Oh, yeah. They don't leave you 75 cents change, and I'll throw at them saying, that's my car out front. I don't take the bus.
Okay, pal.
Hey, have a nice day.
And
hey,
good luck to you.
Let me tell you what. I'll take the carpet munchers over any day.
Okay.
Later.
See ya. 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Yep, Fags and Dykes, yep. Oh! We're winning the jackpot today. We know how to tip, and you want to know why? Because we got the bucks. That's right. That's why straight America is so jealous of us, Fags, because we don't have all these, spouses and children and all these expenses, Maybe a couple of dogs that are expensive, but nevertheless. 5670560. Here's Fort Myers on the new bat line. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
How you doing today?
Great.
Curve on your no tippers. I've used to bartend over at Bennigan's over here in Fort Myers for many a year.
Right.
Farm hucklebucks, the way they term them. They'll come in, they'll order the best steak on the menu. As soon as they order it well done with a side of ketchup, you know there's no tip coming.
Well done with a side of ketchup.
I mean, why even bother, ordering a Delmonico, a New York strip?
Yeah.
Well done, and
Right.
give you a side of ketchup, boy.
I bring them in yesterday's shoes is what I bring them.
That's what they need. Actually, you know what, too, on a surprising note, is attorneys, lawyers.
Really?
They whip out that whatever gold, platinum, diamond lace card on
Right.
$50, $80 tab to buying all their friends' drinks, and you get $2 off it. You're lucky. I'd rather have the locals pay for their own
Those must be dumb attorneys that don't have a real good expense account.
I tell you, no, I don't know. They're just cheap. I just think that, we're supposed to worship the fact that they're there in their Da Vinci suits.
Oh, yeah. I'm impressed. Okay, thanks a lot, pal.
Thank you.
Hang in there. Okay, they're pretty excited about this new toll-free 800 number, aren't they? Are they excited?
No.
Well, we are. We had some action on there. We had at least for our Fort Myers people in Naples and Port Charlotte. Hush, hush, Port Charlotte. That's right. That's what I always say when they get a little out of line. So coming to find out, we have had, except for my very good friend there, and she was a very nice lady, and her boyfriend is a very nice young man who does the handhelds. He holds it by hand in the camera, too, at the Panther games. Very nice couple. They were by the Pizza Loft last night. But she seems to be the odd lady out today. And, please don't take it personally. Don't take it as an offense just because we have a lot of people calling today saying Spartans are cheap, and because it's on the front page of the paper there, and because this Ty Tony got a little bit carried away, as if he's somebody to talk, and his sister-in-law there, Peggy Sue Roll, or whatever her name was, Esther Roll, Salmon, whatever.
No, was she Jamaican, that nice lady? Didn't she have a bit of a...
I don't think she was Jamaican. Was she Jamaican?
Yeah, man.
No, she was very nice. She couldn't have been Jamaican. No, seriously, so how much of a tip do you leave when you get, jerk pork? 5670560, pound 560. No, seriously, have you ever been in a Jamaican restaurant? You're always giving me crap for not going to the Cuban restaurants, which I won't go to. Have you
I've
ever
had
been
Jamaican food, but at Jamaican houses, not restaurants.
at Jamaican houses?
At a Jamaican's house.
No, I'm not talking about weed. I'm talking about food.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're meat pies and...
You buy them at a Jamaican's house? How does that
I don't
work?
buy them. I go to my Jamaican friend. I've been to his house for dinner many times.
What does that have to do with going into
So
a
I've had the
Jamaican
food, but I haven't been to a
restaurant
Jamaican
and
restaurant.
finding out about the tipping habits of our Jamaican friends? Maybe they leave a little number on the table, huh?
My Jamaican
Which
friend
would
had a
probably
big problem tipping. In high school, we would have to wrestle him down and take the money physically out
How
of
do
his
you like
pocket.
that? Just take it out of his pocket and the money too, huh? 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. What are we going to do about our Jamaican friends? We better teach them the fine art of at least leaving a little bit of weed under the table or something, huh? At least a pin joint under the dish. Of course, when you're watching a good hockey game on your dish, here's Coral Springs. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hey, the whole problem is these darkies went to school in South Florida, and when you say 15,
Who is it, darkies?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And when you say 15%, they said 15 cents.
15 cent.
15 cents.
No, 15 cent.
15 cent. There you go.
No S on the end.
And you really got to spell it out. What 15% is?
Right.
What is 15% of say a $20 tab?
Mm-hmm. Sounds like $3 to me.
Sounds like $3. Exactly. I think that's 20% actually. But anyway.
Okay.
I wanted to talk about this. What's this guy's name? Gutman?
Yeah, Alberto Gutman. He's the hero of the old Cuban exiles. Yeah, he's going to jail. He's on
Now,
his way.
did he steal $4 million?
Well, he said he knew that they were stealing. He kind of stood by and looked the other way, That's what he's...
And they only fined him $98,000?
Right.
And he's going to probably do about 3 months in jail?
Is that all?
Well, if he got a 2-year sentence, but, he'll get off and off.
Probably suspended a sentence,
Yeah. So, I mean, who
probably
says crime doesn't pay?
Probably Don Corleone Gonzalez will intercede there, and he'll probably get suspended a sentence.
Who says crime doesn't... They say crime doesn't pay, but I'm starting to think that it does.
Right.
That's all I got.
I bet you the old Cuban exiles are foaming at the mouth today. First we got Demetrio Perez with his guns in the airport, and now we got poor Alberto. And then, of course, don't forget Humberto, what's his name? He's there cooling his heels.
Hernandez?
Or Humberto Hernandez. Well, they all sound Gonzalez, Hernandez, Schwartz. It's all the same crap.
They're getting ready to have another vote down in Miami, and what's this, Suarez, he's going to be in it again?
No, I don't think they're going to let him out. I think they got him in a rubber room. I don't think they're going to go. He's coming out.
Well, I mean, I don't understand. How can you be convicted of something and then be able to run for public office? I don't understand, because, you know, if I was convicted...
Ask in Hialeah, they'll tell you.
If I was convicted of getting any type of crime,
Right.
they'd fire me from McDonald's. Never mind.
That's their favorite hobby in Hialeah, eating Raoul. Have a great day, amigo. Next to the cockfights. 26 past noon at 560 WQAM, 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. We got Hank Goldberg in the studio, baby. None of those crappy remotes.
That was fun.
Oh, what a line. Did you hear that? You weren't in here when that line started popping and puking and crapping yesterday?
No, I was puking and crapping.
That was a beautiful thing. And the phone line, too.
Jim Mandich talks sports.
All right.
Weekends right here on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Tampa.
Recent court rulings concerning the sexual orientation of Scoutmasters has made it nearly impossible for the average parent to know what kind of scouting experience their son can expect. But one organization has arisen to make things perfectly clear. The Gay Scouts.
Okay, troops, time to set up camp. But I've been pitching at 10 for hours.
The Gay Scouts will teach your son the art of self-preservation in the wild.
Aw, man, this match won't light. How are we going to get this fire going? That's okay. We can make our own body heat.
When your son joins the Gay Scouts, he'll hear late-night ghost stories.
And when the severed body was found, he was wearing a Donna Karan ensemble with clashing lapels that had been out of season since Labor Day. Oh, that was the scariest thing I ever heard.
So if you want your son to bond with other like-minded young men, have him join the Gay Scouts today, where our motto is...
Be prepared to strut your stuff.
Okay. 1231 at 560 WQM. So guess what the favorite new thing is that they like me to sign on those stupid picture cards? The new line?
Were you fudge packing?
Oh, yeah, that was number one by a million miles last night, which I think most of these guys can relate to be honest with you. Certainly on the giving end. Is it on the giving end?
No.
Well, some end. So anyway, speaking of the Chocolate Thunder from Down Under, I'm trying to save as much as I can because it is Wednesday. I'm going to Mommy's for lunch today. And I want to save as much as I can for her. Well, you know, I'm such a big eater. I go there and eat those gigantic meals every Wednesday, and then she gives me something to take home, and then she's sure I'm eating that too, the same day. So maybe I can go there and leave her a little deposit, okay? Especially the kind that, like, splatters the bottom of the seat. Those are my favorites. See, I don't worry about it because I got a maid that comes every Tuesday, and she's paid to do stuff like that. But my mom, she might have to clean the bottom of the toilet seat. Here's a call in Naples. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Buddy, I haven't heard anybody talk about how Mexicans tip and things like that.
Well, we don't have too many Mexicans over here.
Well, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, the
Oh, don't start with the Puerto Ricans. You'll get George all whipped up into a frenzy again.
George, donde es la propina?
Cubans are over tippers, and they like to make a big flashy show of it.
Yeah,
and
Cubans
look how much
are,
money I have.
yeah.
Oh, that's probably true too. Just in my experience over here, I work for a restaurant. I actually deliver pizzas, but I know that the waitresses are always tacking on 15% to Mexicans that sit down in the restaurant just because they know that it's not going to happen otherwise.
Yeah.
And then when I deliver, you know, I can't say anything, but even if they do speak English, I don't get anything either way, but it's that look, you know, that's not coming, but.
Yeah, you can feel it.
Neil, buddy, what's your website so I can score one of those little speaker deals?
NeilRogers.com.
All right. Shameless request?
Yes, sir.
Keeping through the keyhole.
All right, you got it.
All right.
And have a great day.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you that line 9 is smoking out, baby. And, of course, it's only in-state for part of the state, some of the state. Gainesville, that's good. You know, what am I complaining about? I mean, that guy who called from Phoenix, allegedly, maybe he was either lucky and slipped through, or maybe, like I said, he was in Greg's office and putting on an act and the lying about it. Because Cincinnati, can they get through?
No.
Boston?
No.
Montreal?
No.
Toronto?
No.
No. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. So the only people that we've heard are really good tippers are fags. That's what we've heard today. All of us homosexuals, fags and bulldykes. Big tippers, baby. We know how to treat people. And, of course, because of the fact that there's so many fags that work in restaurants as waiters, right? You know, we got to take care of our own. I'm not saying that I would ever tip a waiter extra money just because he happened to look real swishy, but Oh, do you hear that? Can you hear the grumbling? Talking about that chocolate thunder down under? Wow. This is a good sign. No, it's a very good sign when you've had the crud like this for, about 10 days, whatever it is, and then all of a sudden you start, oh, man, get it out of your system. I'm serious. That's a great sign. I love it. Here's Pompano Beach. Hello. Pompano Beach.
Hello, yes.
Yes, sir.
I was interested in your program about...
I was going to say keep the seat down, Mom, but I guess she'd already have it down. Yes, sir.
And I just got back from Australia, and when I was over there, I picked up an article from a newspaper to do with a fellow called Terry Packer.
Terry Packer and his brother Fudge, yeah.
He's like Rudolph Murdoch. He's a newspaper giant.
Uh-huh.
He's selling his property in England, and in the back of his property, he's got a polo field. Well, the article says that, where are we? Mr. Packer once took 11 members of his polo squad for a meal in a nearby pub. It was 8:30 p.m. and the landlord said they had stopped serving. Mr. Packer said nothing and left. All 12 were accommodated at the next pub. On leaving, says a friend, Mr. Packer left a $16,000 tip and said, just make sure your mate down the road hears about this.
All right.
You like that?
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
Just stick it right in his nose.
Yeah, I was at a restaurant in Hollywood about 3 years ago, and I had the most terrible waiter you'd ever had in your life.
Yeah.
And I left him a 25-cent tip. When I was waiting for my car from the valet, he came rushing out, pointing out that I made a mistake on my bill.
Yeah.
And I told him, well, no, I'm not. That's 25 cents. That's what you are. You're a two-bit waiter.
Right.
He didn't like that.
Too bad.
Okay.
Two pennies usually works like a charm.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Okay, ta-ta. Okay, there you go. Good old Fudge.
Will you fudge
Packer? He left a 16-grand tip.
All right.
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. The Weekly Journal of American Medical Association, which devoted its entire issue Tuesday to the problem of obesity, fat Americans, said the highest weight increases have been among people 18 to 29, people with higher education, and Hispanics. But its study also found that a steady increase was observed in all states, in both sexes, across all age groups, races, educational levels, and occurred regardless of smoking status. So even if you're smoking something, you're still eating like crazy. Even though doctors stress the only surefire method to drop weight is to eat less and exercise more, even the Journal of the American Medical Association couldn't resist hinting that there may be help in a promising drug to fight obesity. See, it's always the thing with them. Always the thing with the AMA, with these doctors. Oh, we got a drug. It's going to do all kinds of horrible things like fen and all this speed and all this other crap, but we got a drug. In a preliminary JAMA report, one small study indicates that the hormone leptin helps people achieve weight loss, though some people lost no weight in the study. So it's kind of like, what are they saying?
Yeah.
The data was first released more than a year ago by Amgen, the company that sponsored the study, because naturally Amgen wants their stock to go soaring through the roof. But I'll tell you, whichever you find out for me, which company is the one, which one of these pharmaceutical companies is the one that's going to discover the real surefire weight loss pill, and we'll all get on that on the ground floor, okay? And then we won't have to waste our time with this crap anymore. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
African Americans, absolutely the worst. The proof is right in this article. This guy was insulted, obviously, by the owner of the restaurant, but still figured out a way in the end to stiff the waiter, telling him that, it'll make your boss
That's a good point, yeah. Blame the poor waiter as though he had something to do with the crappy attitude of the owner. That's a very good point.
And the 911 call is probably just the OJ syndrome.
Yeah, I heard today he's saying he didn't make the call.
Also, some of the second on the list are these wealthy South Americans that travel to the United States a lot. I used to drive a cab. They'll give you 8 bags. They're like loaded with gold bricks. You go to the airport. I had a $31 fare. The lady peels out a crisp $100 bill off of the stack. I give her $69 all in change, so even if she just wants to give me $1, she can do that.
Right.
She puts it back in her pocket and asks me how much she should tip the baggage handler. So I told her 50 cents, and she dug around in her wallet and gave it to him. I don't know if she even make it to the plane. But Cubans are big tippers, but South Americans are the worst. And Europeans, they have an excuse. It's not in their culture. But African Americans, you would think, 30, 40 years ago, they all held the service jobs and put some of their kids through college on tips. You'd think they would know better. And they stiff African Americans, too. It's not a racial
I think
thing.
it's a darkness in their soul.
Okay.
Have a great day, pal.
Bye-bye.
No, I think it is. It's a dark spot in their soul. By the way, look at all this good stuff on the Breeders' Cup somebody faxed to us, wasting pages and pages and pages of our important fax paper over here. What are you doing that for, jackass? 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line, 877-785-NEIL, toll free for a few places. 21 till 1 at 560 QA.
I've got any dental floss.
He's a wonder boy toy. Had a major wind spurt. Watch the Hershey Highway. And reading Martha Stewart. He's winning lots of races, baby. And the pattern is willing to pattern. Mary Earnhardt with no mistake. Just give me mud for the job. Boys of the rainbow. Quickest kid in NASCAR, wiping at the park. His friend keeps a game on. Fans won't be tickled when they find out he makes this triple. Oh, watch him race away. Hot down the boy is gay. Gordon is gay. Ooh, that hurts. On the racetrack, laps he can maneuver, has the biggest fan club, and he sucks just like a Hoover. He'll bend over for a guy now, baby, and that he likes to haunt. His racing outfit always matches. Hey, look at him, he's wearing red. Fans won't be tickled when they find out he makes this trickle.
Squirt.
Watch it race away. I down the boy is gay. Jordan is gay. Woo! Jordan is gay. Don't touch me there. That's feeling good now.
Twelve 26 at 560. By the way, I mentioned about that Greg Kotex and that idiotic column in the Herald this morning. Oh my God, chaos keeps things sporting. And here, Greg, you know, like I've said before, scumbags gravitate to scumbags. So what he's doing is making excuses for, Mike Tyson and for Brian Cox and Dennis Rodman and Don King. Everybody that most normal people find reprehensible in their behavior, disgusting and grotesque. Greg Cote says, oh, this is what keeps it exciting. I'll take a finger-waving Mike Ditka or a Jimmy Johnson over 1,000 marble-faced Tom Landrys in hats. I'll take the outcast O.J. Simpson and his spooky, oddly brave ability to carry on as if nothing had happened. Well, guess what, Greg? You can have them, okay, asshole? You can have all the murderers, all the rapists, all the scumbags, all the troublemakers, because I grew up in an era when we didn't even know about stuff like that, and we had a great time with sports. We didn't need that.
He didn't call O.J. spooky, did he?
He said he was spooky, yeah. And he's a lousy tipper, evidently, too, as a result of it. 5670560, pound 560 on the. Hey, he was just bringing the pastrami home from the deli, OJ, and she said, hey, OJ, can I get a slice? Here's Boca. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Neil?
Okay, sir.
The deal with black people being bad tippers.
What is that about? We're trying to figure it out today. We can help them along a little bit.
I'm not so sure. It's obviously not all black people, and I think you, as being a waiter at night. By the way, any place I can get a $16,000 tip, I do a lot for that.
Exactly.
But besides that, it's just a class of people. You can see when someone comes in, whether they're white, black, or whatever, basically by their the way they're acting when they're sitting down for a meal at a restaurant, whether you're going to get a tip out of them or not. Basically,
Yeah, if their kids are like jitterbugging around the table, that's not usually a good sign of a good tip, you know.
No, and when they
Like
ask
doing
for
a
the
little
bread before
jitterbug.
they've ordered their meal, that's a pretty bad tip.
Uh-huh.
But also, the thing I think I hate the most is that if I'm going to take an order from somebody, I hate if they're looking. If I have to learn to understand Ebonics, fine. But if they're going to look down at the table and they won't even give me the courtesy of looking in the eye so I can try and read the lips, it's really tough. It makes it very, very difficult to understand what someone's saying when there's slang involved.
Mumbling.
Yeah, but
There are those dark complected people
and then
who
if you
happen
don't
to mumble.
understand them, then they look at you like you're crazy.
Right.
So that's a bothersome thing for me.
Well, the thing to say is just don't give me no lip, you know.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
Well, anyway,
and good luck to you, pal.
thanks.
Oh, see, now all these stereotypes, man. Maybe they're just embarrassed that they got those lips. They can't help it. See, ugly stereotypes. There are plenty of black people that don't have thick lips and don't talk bubonics and leave very nice tips. Aren't there?
No.
Yes, there are. God damn it. Where the hell did this all come from? See, this is the kind of ugly stuff that gets started when some goofball Jap over there on the beach at Thai Tony on Washington Avenue starts adding gratuities onto the... When black people come in saying, you people are cheap. Why doesn't he just put a sign up on the window saying blacks don't bother coming in here, not because we want to exclude you because that's illegal, but just because you're cheap and our wait staff don't want to wait on you? At least that would be honest. Huh? No, this to me sounds like a ripoff. It's like he's luring them in, giving them the false impression that they'd be delighted to serve them, and then on the other hand, sticking that 15-cent gratuity on there whether they want to pay it or not. I think that even black folks should have a right to choose if they want to pay 15% or not, huh? At churches and Bojangles. 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T. You notice Kentucky Fried. Now that's chicken for white people. That's like the
Cracker chicken.
Yeah, it's cracker chicken. It's like the Motown of chicken. Yeah, Motown was black music for white people. Kentucky Fried, that's chicken for white people. You want to really be a soul brother, you go to churches or Bojangles. Yeah. I've been telling you the way it is, man.
Well, the colonel was a honky. He probably owned slaves.
See, you can say that now. He's dead. 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line, and our brand new exciting number, which is it's okay today. 877-785-NEIL, N-E-I-L. 785-6345. Toll free for someplace. We're experimenting today. See, everything with Greg Reed, you always should know ahead of time it's going to be ersatz. It's going to be make-believe. It's not going to be like something you'd really expect in a real professional radio station. It's going to be half-assed because that's the only thing he knows. And he'll probably come in here one day and say, oh, gee, how you like that new line, huh? Here's Davey. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Pretty good, sir.
Good. Listen, I don't typically call when your callers start stereotyping and bashing, but in this instance I had.
I think they're out of control today with this spook bashing, don't you, my dark-complected friend?
Well, you know what?
Let's start bashing some white folks.
Well, I was in the service industry too
Straight ones only, of
for about 10 years, and I find that what happens as a waiter is that when you start to get bad tippers, you start to stereotype the whole group.
Right.
And what happens?
Like French Canadians, of course. In that case, it happens to be true, but that's very
terrible. They're terrible.
Yeah.
But what happens is
they're pigs.
Your
They're disgusting. Let them lose their souls.
Your service starts to decline when you get that certain group of people at your table. You come over and you don't give the same service that you would to anyone.
Because ahead of time they're going to stiff you anyway. So why go out of your way for them?
Absolutely, but then you may be surprised, and they may be people who know that you're supposed to tip based on service. The other thing is that a lot of people do not have the education to know that a waiter. Well, back when I was waiting, the salary was $2.13 an hour. And then you made your tips, and that you lived on your tips. So that's what makes it real bad.
Right.
The other thing, I know that you haven't been talking a lot about the World Series, but I thought it was nice that the Yankees stiffed Jim Gray last night.
Did they?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see. I watched maybe like 2 minutes of it because I was watching a couple of pretty good hockey games, and I can't stand it because you just know ahead of time the result. The Braves are folding up like an accordion.
Well, the kid that hit the home run,
right.
Went to interview him afterwards, and of course, Jim Gray made this little spiel. He apologized to the fans.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah.
But
Very weak, by the way. He didn't apologize to Pete Rose.
That is correct. But what happens? The kid hit the home run after the game was over with. They came out to interview him. He asked him the question about the home run. He says, well, because of what happened to Pete, we're not going to do any interviews on the field.
Great.
So then afterwards,
right.
the coverage on MSNBC, Jim Gray mysteriously disappears,
Mm-hmm.
and they have Craig Sager doing the interview.
Right.
The Yankees come out of the dugout, and they're interviewing with Craig Sager on the field.
Excellent.
So I think there's
He's a pretty good guy, Craig Sager. I worked with Craig at WSPB in Sarasota 26 years ago.
Yeah, there's going to be a little boycott.
Good. Nice job.
All right.
Thanks,
have a great
pal.
day.
Thanks for the good news. What is that, by the way, that you're pouring over there that Ken Malden just handed you? That's not another hockey
fax
thing.
that came to the other line. I'll give it to you during the break.
Oh, they're bringing us
Look.
faxes that come. Oh, they always do that. We don't do that in here. Not because I'm a prick. No, it's not that I don't want to give them the stuff. It's that I'm angry at the people that are using our number. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy that just sent 75 pages on the Breeders' Cup, which I'm sure Hank and Ed's already got that information. And if not, fax it to the right number. No, they're much nicer than I am because they do bring us the faxes when they come in by mistake. And I know Beefo got very upset about that one time, and you know what? Too bad. Now, see, when you keep Beefo on edge like that, when he's paranoid and delusional, that's when he's at his best. That's when the corn grows 10 feet tall. But if you start bringing in the faxes, then he starts getting, a little fat and sassy. Well, he's got half of that lick. 5670560. He really does. He looks bad. Did you ever see him today? Oh, my God. He looks like your stereotypical burnt out, a few too many tops in his life, too many lost tickets there. I'm telling you, you're going to see him right down there with Lester Greenshirt at the finish line at Calder. Day after day, kicking around tickets on the ground, looking down, trying to find a winner. Very sad. Here's Lauderhill. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
We had another death yesterday. Hoyt Axton.
I saw that.
Yeah, it said,
How come there's no big deal about that?
well, it depends if you like his music or not. I mean, I didn't know he wrote the Pusher by Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
One of his better songs.
And how about Payne Stewart? Doesn't that depend if you like golf or not, whether you cared about that or not?
I guess so.
Yeah. But how about Hoyt Axton? You know where he is? He's on the obituary page.
He's got about a couple lines here.
Yeah, that's it.
Stuck in the back.
He had a massive heart attack.
Apparently, he also used marijuana here. In fact, he was sentenced here. $15,000 fine.
Yeah, man. Oh, God.
Well, he used it for his pain. He didn't use it for recreational.
Right, obviously, sure.
Yeah. Oh, well.
All musicians use it for pain. We know that.
That's true.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thanks for the bad news.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's a guy's got a good point. Like I said earlier, I get no comment except for the people that come by at these appearances, many of them, besides a couple of misfits, but many of them really are nice people, and they've got something to say. And this guy was very, very pleased with the fact that I pointed out, and rightfully so, that, just because somebody is a famous golfer or a famous actress or whatever it might be, doesn't make their demise any more meaningful than if Mary Smith of the street dies while she's trying to save her two kids that got electrocuted in Hurricane Irene here, which happened a couple of weeks ago. And yet you media people, that's all you know, celebrity this, celebrity that, famous this, famous that, icon this, diva that. It's a bunch of bullcrap. You're obsessed with it. I mean, pretty soon they're just going to put Mike Walker in charge of all three networks and Fox 2, I guess. And we can just have the Inquirer on 24 hours a day on every goddamn network. How does that sound?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, get a 90 share easy. In between Jerry Springer and that bitch Oprah. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Toll free for out of town, 877-785-NEIL, 785-6345.
All right.
Peeping through the keyhole, watching Mom and Dad. Peeping through the keyhole, the most fun we ever had.
Yes.
Mom and Dad were playing tag right there on the bed. Mommy used her boobies as a pillow for Daddy's head. Mommy's head was bobbing. She almost got whiplash. I don't know what she was drinking, but you got a milk mustache. Peeping through the keyhole, ain't sure what I see. But I sure do like it more than anything on TV. Mom and Dad were hooked together like my Lincoln logs. Last time I saw something like that, Mom was yelling at the dog. Dad was breathing heavy. Mom was on her knees. He must have had a boo-boo cause she kissed him where he pees. Peeping through the keyhole, watching Mom and Dad. Peeping through the keyhole, the most fun we ever had. But we watched a little longer, and I started to get sick. If Daddy's name is Elmer, why Mom asked for Dick? Daddy groaned and his eyes rolled back. Mommy wanted more. She climbed back on top of him, but all he did was snore.
Oh!
Peeping through the keyhole, as the minutes passed, I can't wait to try this out on some girl in my class. Well, I can't wait to try this out on some girl in my class.
Rectum. 102 at 560 WQAM. Here's a fax from a listener in Los Angeles, listens on the internet. Listen to you in L.A., begin listening on ING in 86 during the Hallandale days.
Oi!
Anyway, the toll-free number does not work here in L.A. And says you must get a tape of the Jim Gray interview after last night's game. Whoever hit the winning home run. It was Chad Curtis, by the way, the former Tiger. Told Jim Gray and the guys, got together and decided not to give, he and the guys got together, decided not to give Jim Gray an interview after the game. Nice going, Chad, and all the Yankees. And dedicated the home run to his grandma. And told Jim, to you, okay? Nice going, Chad. See, these people, these so-called sports writers running these apologies for Jim Gray and saying he did the right thing, absolutely, positively not. I don't care how many games that Pete Rose bet on. I don't care how much of a scumbag he was. And Hank made a good point yesterday. Paul Horning bet on football games. He's in the goddamn NFL Hall of Fame. O.J. Simpson murdered 2 people. Everybody knows that. He was found liable in a civil case of the death of 2 people. He's in the NFL Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. That's Canton like wonton. But the fact is that, there's a time and a place for everything, and the same questions have been asked a million times, and Jim Gray is nothing but a goddamn self-aggrandizing asshole looking to give himself a big, bunch of publicity, and all he did was make himself a bigger asshole. He's got the personality of a goddamn frog turd. 567, in fact, the Budweiser frogs deny any connection to him. You drop that? Nope, not me. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. 877-785-NEIL on our new line 9, which is going over like not too great. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I've been listening to you for about 7 years. I just want to say, hey, you're having a great show, and I the reason I like you is because you tell the truth. I don't agree with everything, but this issue with this tipping thing is about to get on my nerves.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to look good, and you have to watch the kind of person that stereotypes a whole group of people because of what one person does.
That's right. Just like that dark woman that was stereotyping the Thai people.
Right.
Right.
And my point is this. Everybody wants to look good. If I go into a restaurant and my pockets are loaded and they're fat, I'm going to tip good.
Right.
If I go into a restaurant and my pockets are not loaded and fat, I'm not going to tip good.
Right.
And
But if your pockets aren't loaded and fat, you shouldn't be going into like a 4- and 5-star restaurant and ordering an expensive meal and then stiffing the waiter. It's not his fault.
Well, then, I guess that's the point. It doesn't matter what color you are.
Right.
It depends on what's in your pocket.
That's right. What's in your pocket?
Right. So are you saying, would they rather not have the money that it would cost me to go and have a steak and salad if I can't tip the turd that's working?
Yeah, that's a good point. In fact, tip the turd, that might be, that's not a bad, I like that. Tip the turd, maybe that'll be our slogan for November.
I mean, think about it. You ask these restaurants, would you rather just not have my money for what the food costs than to tip come on, it's not like you have doctors and lawyers in there waiting on tables.
You can say turd again, tip the turd, I like that.
Tip the turd.
Right. Excellent. Nice job, pal.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, tip the turd, come on. That should be on our damn thing here. Come on, let's hear it. Tip the turd. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Yeah, that's a good point, though, he makes. I mean, the owner of the restaurant, if he gets the money for the meal, sure, it doesn't look good for his help. The help may grumble a little bit. What does he care more about, getting your money or satisfying his turd help? Yeah, that's right. That's a very good point. Especially in a Thai restaurant, which you don't even like in the first place, which I have no idea why, because Thai restaurants are pretty good.
Too much peanut butter in a lot of this stuff, a lot of the dishes.
Peanut butter?
They have a lot of peanut butter in their dishes.
I never had peanut butter in my Some Young Guy.
I mean, there's some dishes that are good, but generally
anybody out there ever had peanut butter with their Some Young Guy? We don't want to hear where. 567-0560, pound 560. I hear it was Jif, is what I hear. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Hey, that was funny. Tip the turd.
I love that. Didn't that have a great sound to it? It had a perfect ring to it. Tip the turd.
It sounded so natural, just rolled right off his tongue.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I have an example about the tipping. I used to eat at a place called Dirty Harry's on 17th Street.
Sure.
They used to, at the time, have a special, 10-cent chicken wings.
10 cents?
Awesome price.
Yeah.
So me and Mole would go there and we would, get some drinks, have an appetizer, and get chicken wings. And I would tip good because I know they're only 10 cents.
Right.
there weren't really many African Americans there. But later on, I guess they caught wind of it, and then there was nothing there but African American.
Yeah, but you said chicken wings, though, see?
Yeah.
Any place where there's either watermelon or chicken of any kind, you're going to start, once the word starts spreading,
You might be right.
the complexion of the joint starts darkening significantly.
Well, what happened is that they would bring their 12 kids, and they would order chicken wings and water.
And, that's nice.
And they wouldn't tip them.
Yeah.
So what happened was...
Maybe they'd leave like 9 cents per person, tip, which is like 90%. That's not bad.
9 cents a kid.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So what they did is they had to add a gratuity on every bill.
See, that's racism again. We left 90% tip, and they're still picking on us darkies again. They're a bunch of racists.
They made you buy a drink.
Yeah.
They made you buy an appetizer.
Right.
And they added a gratuity on the bill. So they made you jump through all these hoops now to get the 10-cent wings.
So now it's lightened up in there a little bit?
A little bit, yeah. But it's just a shame. And that's all I got to say.
Okay, don't forget, pal. Tip the turd.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a great name for a horse, too. I like that. Here comes Tip the Turd on the outside. Oh, but Eddie K's got the 11. 5670560, pound 560 on the, and he's puking in the stretch. See, the Braves remind me of a racehorse that dies. An old thing that I always said about whether it's harness racing or thoroughbred racing, horses that quit in the stretch, even when they go down in class, they continue quitting it. Not always, but most times. They're quitting pigs, dogs. And it's the same with the Braves. It's the same thing. Choking, puking, gagging. You can smell it, you can feel it. Here's Fort Myers. Hello.
Man, us Jamaicans, we tip good,
I beg your pardon?
We tip good, us Jamaicans. Listen, Neil, that's absolutely right. Schwartz says we tip bad,
Yeah.
It's a terrible thing.
Are you a Jamaican in Fort Myers?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you must be spreading the good word and the good stuff over there.
And the good stuff.
Good.
I can spend more money on weed because you got a 1-800 number now.
Uh-huh.
Listen, absolutely right. If it's something negative, it's always racism. Like, black folks can't swim, we're going to say it's racist.
Yeah, well, if white people can't jump, maybe black people can't tip. Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah. But if you say, like, Asians are highly intelligent people, you'd never hear them saying racism. Or if you say, like, black folks...
Right, or if you say black people are great athletes, they go, oh, that's a racist comment.
Yeah,
right.
they'd be like, we'd be good at basketball. We like that.
Right.
They can't, it's nothing,
That's right. If the fool fits, wear it. That's what they say in a Chinese restaurant.
If the cool fits, wear it. Yeah.
Right, that's right.
Okay, now, have a good...
Arrivederci.
Yeah, man.
9 minutes after 1, okay? Tip the turd, baby. Oliver Town are going to be saying that now. Tip the turd, tip the turd. Just something about it. He's right, this other guy. It rolled off his tongue. It just kind of rolled right off the tip of his tongue.
The sports leader. Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rambo 4 and 5. How are you? John Rambo still alive. I want to make movies 4 and 5. My life ain't going great, Planet Hollywood's broke. Unfortunately, I speak like I had a stroke. First blood came in 82. That's when I hurt my penis and it never ever grew. Rambo 2 was in 85 late. Rambo 3 was in 88. Shooting and looting and tooting. My gun. I did not make this movie with my son. His name is Sage. He was in Rocky 5 and Daylight, the tunnel movie. A little bit of cash is what I need. I gotta get a loan from Apollo Creed. I gotta have another hit movie or a Broadway show like Dennehy. I guess nobody ever saw Copland. It was stupid. I guess I understand. My whole life is about to cave in. All I got left is Jennifer Flavin. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to make Rambo 4 and 5. Check it out. So call me up. I really need a script. I can do dialogue or keep it zipped. I like comedy, action, adventure, and drama. The only thing I will not do is have sex with a llama. So give me a break, for goodness sake. I used to be on Oprah. Now I can't get on Ricky Lake. Right now I got a one-man show in Poughkeepsie. Basically, I'm an unemployed gypsy. A little bit of cash is what I need. I gotta get a loan from Apollo Creed. I gotta have another hit movie or a Broadway show like Dennehy. I guess nobody ever saw Copland. It was stupid, so I understand. My whole life's about to cave in. All I got left is Jennifer Flavin. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, I need to make Rambo 4 and 5. Absolutely.
116 at 560 WQAM. Boy, I feel so much better after those real moving experiences. Yeah, I think I got this flu, this crap out of my system, if I can say that. Don't forget, tip the turd. 567. That would be a great sign to have on a restroom. You know, so you go to a men's room where they have a guy working there, usually a dark-complected guy, too, you know, when he's got his all the little candies in it. Huh? What? You know what I'm talking about. What do they call it? Like a
restroom attendant.
A tea room attendant? Yeah. And a sign, there should be a sign there saying, tip the turd. Here's Coral Springs. Hello.
Hey, hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing? You
Great.
really struck a nerve on this one. I deliver pizzas at night.
Uh-oh.
And, you know, I take what I get, you know.
Right, me too.
It's all the same. And, you know, as soon as one of them...
He said they don't tip for whatever he said with the SH on it. That's what he said. Something like that. Well, I understand what he's saying. I mean, he blurted it out. So you can't do that. It's not the Brooke Daniels show. We have more than 4 people listening. Now, see, that's the new FCC deal. If you have 4 people or less listening, you can say the F word on the air. That's why she could say it the other day. That's why the producer got fired, and not that bitch. Nice book, by the way, Brooke. Nice book. Oh, my God. Nice book, Brooke. Speaking of tip the turtis. We got the out-of-town line open, by the way, the toll-free line, which it doesn't work out of state. That guy who called from Penis before, I thought he said Phoenix. He must have been called from Penis. That was no Phoenix call. It doesn't work out of state. It works in parts of Florida, certain parts. Some places do and some places don't. 877-785-NEIL, 1-877-785-6345, and we pay the freight. I want to keep that line as busy as possible, just to make him pay for the piece of crap that he gives us in here. Nothing. I mean, absolutely, grudgingly, and even then, the worst, the cheapest that money can buy. That's the Greg Reed FN way. Here's Cutler Ridge. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, pissed off, man. I used to tip all the time, but now, if I get a cracker or a faggot, I ain't tipping nothing.
Yeah.
I want tip for you punks, them crackers. Y'all can tip faggots. That's the new tip. Instead of tip nerds or whatever.
Tip the turd, yeah. Tip the fag.
Tell them tip faggots and tip crackers. Peace.
Okay. On you is what he said. Peace on you. How's he spelling that? 567-0560. Pound 560. You see, the one dark guy that called before, he's got a good point. If you say blacks are great athletes, and they sure have rhythm, and they sure are great musicians, then that's okay. It's not racist. But if you say blacks tend to be very bad tippers, oh, my God, it's a racist thing. See, it's too much of that. We've created that. It's like, creating a monster, if I can say that. Don't start those lines about the gorillas in our midst again either, George. 567-0560, pound 560. Here's a mobile in West Palm Beach. They can call, too, on a Palm Beach line. Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil.
How you doing?
Great. Actually, I got a good story for you. I'm a white male, and I'm married to a Jamaican woman.
Oi!
Yaman.
Yaman.
And I go, we go out to dinner, and a lot of times we bring my mother-in-law with us.
Mm-hmm.
0 tip. I mean, it's embarrassing. I always go back to the table and put like another $10 down. And I'll give you another one. The restaurant we always go to, Red Lobster. If that's not, just for them.
If I ever ate at Red Lobster again, which I would not, I'd demand they give me a tip on the way out.
Yeah, it's filet of fish.
I'd be on tip this turd.
Yeah. Okay, I just wanted to say that to you.
Thanks, pal.
Yeah, thank you.
I forgot, that's right. Palm Beach can call on that line 9 too for free, toll free, right? Am I right about that? West Palm, Boca, Boynton Beach. All right, now we're cooking Delray Beach. Wow. Yeah, let's get what we can, okay? I mean, that's the best we can do with it. Gainesville to West Palm to Fort Myers to Naples to St. Pete, everywhere in between. Have any calls from FSU, Tallahassee yet?
No.
No, I'm a Gator fan now, okay? We got shined by all our listeners up there from down here, all those kids that go to FSU. You just know that there got to be at least, 6 of them listening on the internet right now, at least 6 or 7?
Uh-huh.
Shined us. Here's a mobile implantation. Hello.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
I got 3 suggestions for Tip the Turd guy.
Yeah.
Eat in, buffets, or cook at home.
Uh-huh.
If he wants to go out and have someone serve him and not tip, then don't go out. That's not,
the appropriate thing to do.
When in doubt, don't go
Right.
out.
When in doubt, don't go out. And by the way, I'm an FSU graduate.
All right.
But I didn't call. I called before you made that.
Tell them to get on the stick up there.
I will.
Okay.
All right, Neil. Take it easy.
See ya. Well, we got too many numbers there. I mean, Gainesville, they can handle up to 7 numbers, but for FSU, it's a little bit tough. It's that Bobby Bowden mentality. Unlike that great sophisticate, Steve Spurrier. 877-785-NEIL, 877-785-6345. Oh, look at that, a mobile in LaBelle. Hello.
LaBelle of all places.
What a great place that is to drive through real fast.
Cows and horses out here.
Yeah, it's not too far from the Nut House, is it?
So, how's it going today?
Great.
Hey, you keep playing that lady that laughs. What's her name? Brooke?
Yeah,
Somebody?
the Babbling Brook.
I never hear her over here, but yeah, that's the one.
Like I said, you love LaBelle because you can't hear. That's the best thing they got going for them.
But sometimes I get over to Lake Okeechobee
Yeah.
because I do a lot of on-the-road stuff, and I was wondering, just to be able to hear this person, to see what you're talking about, where is she at on the dot?
940, Clear Channel, 50,000 watts, 940, 3 to 7 p.m. You'll love it.
Oh, 3 to 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
All you need is about 40 seconds of it. That'll be the end of it.
I'll be back with Hank then or something.
There you go.
Hey,
She's Hank's best ally.
Hey,
stupid!
And then there's this 1700. What's on there?
Crap. You give them about 30 seconds too, and you might turn around and want to go back.
You think I'd be able to reach them at when I'm in Okeechobee?
No. You get down to Okeechobee Road, you'll be able to reach them. Have a great day, pal.
Thanks, Neil.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of Okeechobee Road, what kind of poor bastards have to drive through that, on the way to the airport? Now, back years and years and years ago when I lived in Hialeah, or in Miami Lakes, actually, right next to the high school, I used to know that part of town pretty good. Miami Springs, is it? Right? Yeah,
Yes.
Miami Springs. But, you go to the airport and you get close to Lejeune and Okeechobee Road, and every day it's just backed up for forever. I mean, even not talking about rush hour, just backed up, and you look down off that ramp and you think, thank God, better them than me. I mean, what is that?
It's a nightmare.
Exactly. It's a freaking daymare is what it is. God almighty. So I want to send my condolences to you poor bastards out there who live or work or have to travel in that part of town and exit off that. Oh, Jesus. In fact, I got a better idea for you. They always have plenty of parking at the airport. Just keep driving straight. Go to the airport, park in there, and walk to wherever you're going. Get there a hell of a lot sooner. Here's a mobile in Hollywood. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Listen, I was in the restaurant business a few years back, and I still have a box of old T-shirts left over. I'd be glad to donate them to the guy. Tipping is not a city in China. It's a little less subtle than the 15%.
Yeah.
And I tried to call in yesterday, but I couldn't get to a phone. I just wanted to warn your listeners not to go for that buying the eggs from the model scam. A friend of mine had that done a few years ago when it was still cutting-edge technology. He had 2 children, a boy and a girl.
Yeah.
One turned out to be an anorexic heroin addict that walks around the house in spiked heels and underwear, and his daughter turned out worse.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for the good news.
Well, you're welcome.
And we'll see you. Yeah, see, I got no response to that. I think that's a very interesting thing. Now, you just stop and ask yourself. If you've seen pictures of, people out there who, see, it's hard. This is a very difficult topic because the people who consider themselves good looking, I have to very often think, oh, yeah, right. And I'm beautiful, too. So it's difficult to talk about it, but people who really are beautiful people. Were their parents also beautiful people, or do ugly parents sometimes make beautiful people? And like somebody said the other day when I was watching a story on TV, they really don't know enough about genetics yet. There's no guarantee that beautiful parents make beautiful children.
More likely.
No, well, yeah, but sometimes certain traits skip a generation
Right,
or 2 generations.
It's a likeliness thing.
Yeah. So in other words, if your parents were real ugly like mine, you're going to be real ugly like me. Is that what you're saying?
Most likely.
Oh, well, I know what your parents looked like. But at any rate. Cubans. No, seriously, I don't know that there's any guarantee of that, but it's a fascinating thing. I mean, there's 2 ways to look at it. Number one, you'd like to have brighter people. That would be nice, people with a brain. But what's wrong with having people with a brain who also look good? Now you got something that you can reach out and embrace real tightly, the way I look at it. Like, oh, God, that's good, Right, Jacob? Oh, sorry. You don't even know Jacob, and you're giving me looks. Okay, Jacob's a very bright young man. Maybe I'll see him at the hockey game tonight. Speaking of the hockey game, by the way, Pavel Bure is playing, Ray Whitney is playing, and, I want to mention this, and the big black guy named Peter Worrell's playing. So everybody except Brett Hedigan's back tonight. No excuses not to be there tonight, especially for Pavel Bure. But I'm going to be watching very closely to see who gets the biggest ovation on his return to the Panther lineup tonight. Pavel Bure, our $10 million man, the most exciting athlete in the world, or Peter Worrell, who this crowd that we got, they're obsessed with Peter Worrell. Obsessed. It's like a sickness with these people. Or, of course, the lovely Ray Whitney. 126 at 560 at WQAM.
We dance like daisies, we sing like woodsies, but we must tell you, yes, we swear we're not gay. If you wore these outfits to class, they would kick your ass. Regardless, we swear we're not gay. We look like interior designers. We sing like a bunch of girly whiners. But we'll stay. Our agent says we gotta stay. We swear we're not gay. Our biggest fans are 12-year-old girls who think we're as cute as can be. Yeah, but as they get older, they all figure out we're hiding our latency. One thing is for sure, we get manicures. Wash our clothes on the delicate cycle. Want to do a session with your Michael, but today we think that we had better say we swear we're not gay. I swear we're not gay.
132 at 560 WQM. This brings a real dilemma I was just thinking about during the break, and that is this. If you want to go to a nice, nice restaurant, I'm not talking about Denny's or Wags or, something like that, or IHOP. If you want to go to like a nice restaurant, do you ask yourself, can I afford to eat with me and my family or other or whoever I'm taking? Can I afford to eat there? Or do you ask, can I afford to eat there and also leave a nice tip? You know what I'm saying? I think that's a legitimate question.
Don't you factor that in when you're thinking about, can you afford to eat there?
Some people do. People maybe who eat out often, who have, the big bucks like you do. People who go to a lot of fancy schmancy restaurants because they get a lot of free meals like you. I mean, they do, like me. Like if I go to Ruth's Chris, I'm planning ahead of time. I'm going to leave a big tip. I go to Vegas, I go to a fine restaurant, I'm going to leave a good tip. I'm a good tipper. Of course, I'm a fag, but nevertheless.
And if you get a free meal, you leave an extra big tip.
Yeah, always. Always. And you know me, I could eat for free forever. And I don't, because I don't want to be a schnorrer, number one. And number two, I'm not looking for meals because I'm always fat. So I'm always, halfway on a diet, plus I'm diabetic. So, I just can't eat all the meals I would like to. If I weighed 150 pounds, maybe I'd be more of a schnorrer. So it's a lucky thing I don't like being a schnorrer and eating too many free meals. But people who live on a very limited budget, should they have to deny themselves the right to go to a nice restaurant and eat without being able to tip the turret a big tip? I think that's a fantastic question that we have to ask. Why should we blame all our poor schlepper schwarzers out there? A lot of them are just barely scraping through. They can't just go home and eat, a bucket of fried chicken every day. Not every goddamn day. A little variety is the spice of life. Here's Palm Beach. Hello.
Yeah, the caller that called a while back, the black caller, said he worked his way through school or whatever, waiting tables, and he got paid $2.10 an hour. Well, guess what? Things haven't changed.
Yeah.
We're still making that, and we still work for our tips. And because I work for my tips, I even try harder, even though I know that on some tables I'm liable not to get a tip. I still work hard at that table and still smile, and I'm all nice and congenial and everything.
Hoping for the best.
Excuse me?
Hoping for the best.
Hoping for the best. So I imagine after a couple more years, I'll begin to become bitter as well. But also, the angry young black man who called said he used to tip, and now anybody who's white or a fag, he's not going to tip. I think the only tip he ever used to give was, don't come to my neighborhood. Anyway, I'll catch you later.
And a good tip, too, by the way, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he said he'd leave a couple of crackers under the table. Isn't that what he said? Always goes good with your clam chowder. 567. Oh, by the way, why do they do that? Why do restaurants bring you crackers? That's so goyish, you know, when you get clam chowder like in a seafood. I hate when they do that. I mean, I never eat them anyway. But why do they assume you want to put crackers in your chowder?
Because a lot of people do.
That's like taking a great steak and ladling it with steak sauce, you know? See, steak sauce, and believe me, I love good steak sauce. There's no way, two ways about it, especially like, what's the real good Peter Luger's? That's the best. But if you have a great steak, like at Ruth's Chris, you don't use steak sauce. I mean, they will give it to you if you want. But anybody to me that goes into a place like that and wants to drown the taste of a fantastic juicy steak with steak sauce, just stay home and buy a bottle of steak and drink it, you know, by the tablespoon. Don't waste your time with a steak. Because that's all steak sauce generally is for, and other stuff like that, is to cover up the taste. If you get a great bowl of chowder, for example, in a real good seafood place, why the hell put a bunch of crackers and mung in there like to soak it up? Dreck. I guess Goyim do that. Here's Plantation. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Had a great time. The three of us sat down and had a real good meal, and I even left $1 tip.
Well, that was very, very nice for you especially.
And Neil, what? I got one question. Why
That
did
was
they
all,
have?
George.
It puts the lotion in the basket on one of the keychain sounds.
Oh, that's a good idea. Next year.
Okay.
Okay, see you. Hey, how do you like that? He was almost a human last night and really good on the phone. Well, no, don't say really good. He was okay. Let's hear it for Ken, the guy with the eyes. He's okay, even though George is just a hard ass. He don't like anybody. No, see, I'm the one that has to suffer. I have the reputation of being a hard ass and hating everybody, and you're the one that God.
I'll invite him in.
Just like the looks that you gave some of the people, like my good friend Sonny, that used to be Len, whatever his name is, that came up and forced me to kiss him on the cheek to get rid of him.
I gave him a look?
Yes, and a very good one, too, that would have killed, which I only wish it would have worked. Here's Inverness. Hello. Inverness.
Yeah, hey, Neil.
How you doing, sir?
All right, I guess I'm the only listener in Citrus County here. If you want to see old farts, come up here.
Oi!
I'll tell you, I'm the only guy, I guess, under 50.
Right.
But I'll tell you, they come down mostly from Michigan and Indiana here to retire.
Right.
They sell their $30,000 house up there, and they buy one down here for $25,000.
Mm-hmm.
And they do go out and eat here, you know. I see them a lot out at the Golden Corral. You can't get in the door on a Friday night unless you got blue hair.
Yeah.
And then they put you in front of the line.
Oh, sounds like they'd fit in perfect over here in Sunrise and Tamarack.
We beat them.
Really?
Yeah, because you got they're not only old, but they got no class.
Yeah, that's right. They're Midwesterners. You're right about that.
That's right. And I'll tell you
New
what.
New Yorkers are good tippers, but Midwestern people, even up there, they're cheap.
I'll tell you, we do have our, we have a black population here, but I say one thing, I never see them out. They don't leave tips. They never go out anywhere. I never see them anywhere.
Well, if you were dark complected in Citrus County, you'd probably stay in a lot too, you know.
Yeah, I probably would.
Okay. Thanks a lot, pal.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, look at this. We got 600 open lines here all of a sudden. We've been rolling along singing a song today. And I want to thank tremendously the guy that called about Ty Tony, because I almost forgot about this story. I was so wrapped up with that goddamn 900 line or 800, whatever the hell that line is, and with Greg Reed and with the golf tournament and the disappearing money. As in...
Only $50.
How much was it and where the hell did it go? Did we get an answer on that yet, by the way?
No.
Look at that board now. One call on there. It's on line 9. It's on a new toll-free line from Orlando. Everything else died. Everything else died. Very nice. See, thank God I got that line. I'll keep that line smoking all the time. But here, Dayton Broward, same old crap. 23 years of this. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. We pay for it, and they're still like dead as a doornail. I'm one of the hottest goddamn... This is one of the great topics in history, okay? Why is it that black people are so cheap? That's our topic today. And are they really related to French Canadians? Is that the problem? Let me tell you about Pompano Park. I want to thank my good close friend, what the hell is her name? Kathy? That brought me my the book last night. We're going to have one. Oh, here it is over here. Ken's Bible. Thank you, sweetheart.
Ooh, Frosty Nads.
What the hell was that? Somebody just chopped jigs off.
sitting at home watching the WWF. I got hair on my back and Coors on my breath. I got remote control. I got my Nintendo joystick. I'm so damn lazy. I married a pregnant chick.
Well, it's true I drive a Beamer and I play lots of golf. I wear polyester pants that I never take off. I go out to the bars and I try to be funky, but I don't fool anyone, 'cause me a honky.
Oh, me a honky. Oh, me a honky. Oh, me a honky. Just a little too white. Oh, me a honky. Oh, me a honky. Oh, me a honky.
I listen to Madonna and I think she's really hip, and that Julio Iglesias fella just makes me flip. I don't like Two Live Crew. They're just so darn dirty. My kids aren't allowed to listen until they turn 30.
My dad is my uncle, and my sister's my aunt. I'm enrolled in school just to get me a grant. I tell a lot of ethnic jokes. I think that they're funny. I got a bad sense of humor, 'cause me a honky.
Oh, me a honky. Oh, me a honky. Oh, me a honky. Just a little too white. Oh, me a honky. Oh, me a honky. Oh, me a honky. Just a little too white.
Look at me do the box step, Lovey. Look at this.
Hey, Ma, why don't you come over here and pull my finger?
145 at 560 WQM. Here's something to ponder. You got a few hours to kill. You're driving along I-75, and you come to one of those, you know, there are all those different exits where they got McDonald's, they have all the signs, you know, gas station, there's your Shell and your Mobil and your Amoco, and, you know, there's a sign that shows there's restaurants and stuff. You get off there, and you see, like, Edna's Country Kitchen, and you're a cracker, and you drive over there, and you figure, okay, I'm tired of the fast food joints, I'll go into a sit-down place, I'll get me the newspaper, I'll sit down, have a little meal, read the paper. And you walk in there, you're a white person, and there are like 15 tables full, and all the people in there are black. No, you know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of the Winn-Dixie. Where was it?
Right over here on County Line.
Oh, that's right. When I used to go that way. That's right. When I used to go up the County Line Road to go home. Of course, I didn't see Sylvia in those days. How you doing, sweetheart? Sylvia's back at the Turnpike Toll. But at any rate, yeah, the one day that I pulled up there and I realized I sat in the parking lot for a moment or two. Did I ever go in there? I don't think so.
No, you just did a drive-by.
I did a drive-by shopping experience. Yeah. And I looked at all the people I could see inside the store, and it looked very dark in there. It was like in the middle of the daytime. I was going home after the show. It was like 2:15. And I looked in the parking lot, and they were all dark. Now, that wasn't because of any hostility toward black people. I just felt out of place. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I'm a black guy and I'm driving on the road, and I go, here's Edna's Country Kitchen, and I get out of the car, and I walk in, I look in there, and there's 15 tables full, and they're all white folks. Am I going to be turned off by that? Am I going to, like, turn around and walk out?
If they've got rebel flags on their baseball caps, maybe.
Yeah. And if they all say we're from Citrus County? But other than that, here's Orlando. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man, was this Gregory's way of thanking you for screwing up your CDs?
Yeah.
Well, it was.
Is he going to say limited toll-free number for about 6 counties?
So what's the farthest call you've received so far? I listened to you this morning.
Gainesville.
First hour.
Well, we had one supposedly from Phoenix, but I'm not buying it. It doesn't work out of state. Gainesville.
Yeah, I heard the guy faxed you from L.A. and said it didn't work there.
Didn't work in Boston, L.A., Montreal, Amsterdam.
Speaking of L.A., here's a radio spy report for you.
Yes, sir.
Your buddy Phil, he's on Real Radio soon. They yanked Till off, and they're going to put Phil on up here.
Uh-huh.
You probably knew that already.
No, I did not.
Oh, you know now, but...
He's on here.
You're the best, man.
You're the 5th call I had about him. He's been on here for a month, or maybe a month and a half.
Yeah, I know that. I listen to you every day.
Okay, thanks a lot, pal.
Thank you.
See ya. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. 877-785-NEIL, 877-785-6345. Ed Till. Now, who was it that they're putting on overnight? Is it Ed Till they're putting overnight on a queer channel? Is that? Oh, my God. Wow. The talent in this business, man, it's phenomenal. The pool of talent. You could almost drown in it. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
How you doing, Neil?
Pretty good, sir.
Speaking of sitting down at restaurants, I sat to you across from yesterday with the Yankees hat behind my head.
I don't know if you remember.
Is this Brian?
It was Brian, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
How could I forget Brian?
Oh, I don't know. But anyways, I think that you are one of the best talents there ever has been down here, and I think you're the best.
Excellent.
So that's why I called.
And thanks for coming by last night.
You're welcome.
See you, Brian. What do you give me a look like that? Don't you remember Brian?
No.
Brian was sitting right at the table across with a Yankee cap on, tall young gentleman, very nice-looking kid.
I remember that tall lady with the long brown hair.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Well, I remember Brian, and he just called in here. One of my favorite people already. Good guy. And probably got a better sense of humor than Jacob that I didn't see last night. What happened to my good buddy Jacob? Did I go a little bit too far on that? That's okay. See, I always test people, always test their sense of humor and how much, people razz them. Oh, that fag Neil's talking about you on the air, Jacob. Big deal, okay? If that bothers you, Jacob, take a little earring out of your right ear. And leave the girlfriend home next time. Now, Jacob's a good kid. Probably my good friend, Dave from the hockey games, the one that was passing the buttons that time. He takes credit for introducing me to everybody, Jacob. And then who was the other one that had the picture of the, was it Jose? From the pizza loft that time a few years ago? You remember Jose? Who went into hiding immediately?
Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah, one of your people, who just, gee, Maricon, that crap, just because I said he happened to be a very, very good-looking young guy, which he was.
Chased them all away.
What difference does it make? What difference? Am I going to do any of them? No. So what difference does it make? They enjoy it. They like the limelight a little bit. What's wrong with that? Everybody likes to be famous for 20 minutes.